Oh, and here we are. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. It's your Uncle Bruce here on a Friday morning. Can you believe it? It's Friday, July the 9th. Holy moly macaroni. Welcome one, welcome all to the Friday show. You know what that means. Tomorrow I start my classes. Oh, is panic setting in? Yeah, of course it is. Can't wait. I mean, I'm just dying to get started. But the first class is tomorrow, and boy, am I jacked up here. Looking forward to getting this started. Sunday, we have our second class. Both are being held at noon Eastern time tomorrow and Sunday. They're going to last about 2.5 hours apiece, and then we will get them edited and uploaded to our brand new website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, my new website. We're going to upload these edited classes to the website. Any of you who missed the live show, the live class tomorrow and Sunday, check out the videos anytime you want. Fantastic. Looking forward to all of this new activity and new everything. Oh my gosh, I'm just it's been so busy around here. Thank you everybody for joining me today. We love talking about the stock markets in plain English. That's kind of what we're about. The classes will be in plain English too. The first class is all about how to buy and sell stock options, an introduction into options, calls, and puts. The second class will be how to write stock options, an introduction into that. These are going to be at the basic level, the very beginner level, to kind of give you an overview of everything about it. And I'll do the best I can to explain it so that at the end of each class, you'll sit there and go, I get it now. I'm getting this. Now I see what all this fuss is all about. I understand why there are millions and millions of people in the options market all the time, and why there are billions of dollars trading hands every day in the options market, and how important it is to the market, and why so many people are attracted to this part of the stock market. You've got the stock side, you've got the option side. Oh, it's coming together. And now I hear it makes sense when they say certain things on the television. I'm going, I know what that means. When Bruce talks about it, I know what he's talking about. This is good stuff. So, yeah, looking forward to having you join me for the live classes the next couple of days. Check out my new website. We just launched it day before yesterday, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. If you get a chance, let me know what you think of it. Hope you like it. We are in the early days of that website's existence, and we will build onto it, and move forward. Again, thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. Those of you who are telling your friends to subscribe, thank you very much. A number of you are telling me that, saying, I'm telling my friends and relatives about you, and they are subscribing, and they are beginning to watch and listen to your morning rants. Morning rant. What is my morning rant about today? First of all, I want to just mention that the Dow is not down 550 points on the pre-market. That's a good thing. We had that yesterday morning. We were looking at an awful, ugly looking open, not like a catastrophic bad open. It was just going to be a down day. And it was a down day yesterday, but not a catastrophic down day. And by the time we settled out, the dust settled out, we did have a 200 something point drop yesterday, but certainly nothing like that was looking. And yet the other thing that happened was, as the day went on, we began to notice that a lot of the stocks that we follow here on this channel, because we're not just one stock, we're not a one stock channel here, we were noticing a bunch of the stocks we follow were going higher, even though the market hadn't fully recovered yet. That turned out to be interesting and rather profitable for a few of you out there. Those of you who were able to take advantage of the dips, way to go. Right now, with an hour to go before we start trading here on Friday, July the 9th, the first Friday after July 4th, I guess, we're up 263 points on the Dow in the pre-market. We're up 22 on the S&P 500, and we're up 15 on NASDAQ. Now, the important thing to remember is NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Any gain they have today, if they each have a 1-point gain or a 10-point gain or whatever kind of gain they want to give us, new all-time record highs. These two indexes are at all-time record high levels. A lot of people forget this on a minute-to-minute, day-to-day basis. The Dow is not yet near, well, it's near its all-time record high. I should say it's not. It is near its all-time record high, but it is not at its all-time record high. At the moment, the Dow Jones closed at was down 259 yesterday, closing at 34,421. All right, 34,421. The record is 35,091. So we need about what would that be? 580 and 90, 670 points from here. The Dow would be at a new all-time record high. How much is that? It's like about 2% more. So yesterday the Dow actually gained. The Dow yesterday lost about a point, and if it were to gain a couple of points today, percentage points, it would be at record high territory. So in reality, the markets are very high. They're very high because earnings are high. Stocks only go up when earnings go up, generally speaking, or stocks go up when earnings are anticipated to be going up. And that's another differential. A lot of people ask me, how do you determine whether I should, buy a certain stock or not, or whether you like a certain stock or not? It kind of, hits your radar, and you sort of mention it to us as a good buy. What is it about these companies? Is it the price of the stock necessarily, or what? And it's partially that, obviously, the price of the stock, but in relation to where it's been is a way to compare. Is the stock 30% off of its all-time high? Has it had 5 really lousy years and it's 30% off the all-time high, but in the last 12 months it's only down 8%, or has it had just a sudden drop in the last quarter or 2 or 3? Has the company gone through a major reorganization, change of management, selling off of divisions, total reorganization? There's a zillion questions as to why and what and how and where. In this market right now that we're in this economy that we're in right now, up until COVID began, we were in a low interest rate and low inflation environment with high unemployment. Kind of everything was going great in theory. Yeah, there were those who were, really doing well and those who weren't, and that's always the case. You always have, uber winners and uber losers, and then all of us in the middle. But with COVID, things really shifted, and we found that a lot of the smaller companies, especially private mom and pop operations, really got hit badly. Small and medium-sized businesses closed. A lot of larger companies had trouble, especially those who had retail divisions, with shopping mall sales, retail sales. They hurt badly because, of course, there's no foot traffic to a lot of retail stores. Online sellers did great. Software people did fantastic. Anyone who was in the business of helping people be in business from home has done well. And that includes our FANG stocks. Netflix, of course, because we're at home watching movies. We're not going out to the theater. We're watching Netflix at home, so people signed up. That made sense. Obviously, IBM with the cloud, and Apple with all of its product lines. The demand for Apple computers went dramatically. Apple laptops, Apple phones, as always. Apple services. Then you've got the Googles of the world, the Alphabets. You've got Amazon for home delivery, Microsoft. I'll get it. All of the FANG stocks did well. Facebook and so on. I mean, social networking, you name it. Anything to do with online and remote work really, really did well. And not like, we did 8% better this year than last year. Oh, no. 30% more, 40% more. 45% more numbers on trillion dollar plus corporations were generating 20-30% higher gains. But coming back to how do I pick a stock and how do I figure it out? When I take a look at stuff like a company like Apple, you can always say, well, Bruce, Apple's an easy choice because it's been on the buy list of almost every analyst for a couple of decades. I guess you could say, but there was a time where Apple was in trouble, and Steve Jobs was brought in at the last minute to salvage a company he founded, one last desperate gasp to see if the company could make it. And of course, he changed the changed the company around, and he had changed as an individual. He had figured out in his 40s what needed to be done and how business should be run versus his 20s. Cut the guy a break. He had never founded an Apple before. He was 20 something. Never ran a multi-billion-dollar company before he created Apple with Wozniak and others. But you look at a company's earnings, you look at a company's prospective earnings, and that's what I love to look at. I like to look forward, and I like to look at a company's prospects going forward. Are you in the right business at this point in time for the economy as a whole? Are you in the right area of the economy that is going to have a real shot at growing dramatically? Is your company a kind of a company that can grow its market share in the business it's in? Or is it a groundbreaker and keeps coming out with innovative new products to stay ahead of the competition where everyone is chasing you rather than you chasing someone else? Is your company well run? Is it well managed? Is your company is your stock, what's the stock situation that your company is in? And this is something that some people, a number of people, really don't pay attention to. They'll not pay attention to the fact that a public company has 25% of its shares shorted, and there's a lot of people betting against the company, like GameStop, for example, where at one time there was an unbelievable short position versus how many shares of GameStop existed. Where analysts got lazy or just threw in the towel and just said, I'm not going to cover this company anymore because there's so many shares shorted on this thing. The stock is so low. It's the same old. I don't believe the management. I don't believe them. I don't believe in anything they're saying. They're saying they're going to turn the company around, but they've disappointed me quarter after quarter. I'm not going to cover them anymore. When that happens, things happen quietly, stealthily, and the next thing you know, you realize, analysts might realize, oh my gosh, look what they've been doing since I've ignored them. They've really turned it around. I keep an eye open for that. I love seeing stories like the GameStops of the world where much maligned company, and all of a sudden within 6 months you have got a complete turnover of the entire corporation. And the company goes from, in the case of GameStop, being worth $250 million in actual total value, market cap value, with 200 plus million in debt, to a company that now has 1.9 billion cash in its bank account with no debt and complete new management and a complete new direction and a whole bunch of analysts that won't cut it an ounce of slack. That to me is a buy opportunity. That to me screams, this could be a real turnaround situation. And boy, I love looking at companies like that can do that kind of thing. But you gotta have faith, and you gotta have an iron stomach to take the day to day, and you also have to ignore the haters and the doubters, and that's part of being a smart investor, because it is, after all, psychological. You're up against other investors. That's the only competition you have, is your opinion and your thought on a stock versus other people's opinions, and it's a question of how many believers there are versus non-believers. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a believer and you own this, you're going to buy the stock, and there's a non-believer who doesn't have any shares. Those people can believe against you all they want. They can't affect your stock price. It's a question of those who have the stock. If enough of those folks turn their attention or turn their attitude around and go, I think that my stock that I'm holding is way undervalued. It's not like a little undervalued or fairly priced. It's like way underpriced. There are people out there who were holding GameStop a year ago who were down money. They bought in at 8 or 10 or 15 years earlier, and they were sitting with a $5 stock, and they were going, I'm getting my butt handed to me here. I don't like what I see. As soon as they saw the shares go to this 8, 10, 12 range, they saw $12 a share. They went, oh my God, the stock has tripled from $4 to $12. I've been sitting around here at $8.50 for years, and I can get out at $12. I'm running for the hills. Can't blame them for wanting to do that. It's a 50% gain on their investment that they've been sitting on for a long, long time. But it's when the rest of those shareholders who have the stock, all or more, a majority of them go, I'm not selling this stock this movement from 4 to 10 or 12 bucks, this is only the beginning. I believe in this new direction, and they pull their market off the potentially. A potential seller pulls their stock off the market. I'm not a seller whatsoever. You get the momentum shift. You now have more people wanting in who believe in the upside versus wanting out who don't believe in the upside. Forget what analysts are saying. Forget about what pundits are saying. Forget about what CNBC not covering the story accurately. It doesn't matter. It's a question of how many believe versus how many don't. And it's the shareholders. It's not the outside influencers. It's actually the shareholders themselves, those who are long and want more, those who don't own, who do want to own, versus those who have and are thinking of selling. And so you only have to convince those who already have the stock that you don't want to sell it. As soon as you convince those who have the stock that you don't want to sell it, you get up price movement. And look what happened on AMC yesterday, to use an absolute example. AMC yesterday was trading at around the 40-something mark. Around the $45 mark day before yesterday. And yesterday, the stock went as low as $38.76 in the first half hour of trading. $38.76 is how low that stock got. Remember, this stock had hit $76 only a month ago on that big run it had. Anyway, during the day yesterday, it topped out at $49.79. That stock ran up 11 bucks from the low of the morning to the afternoon high. What would cause it to do that? It's simple. In the first hour of selling, those who had the stock, or some of those, not all, but some of those who owned the stock, felt it necessary to get out of Dodge and sell out. And there's always buyers for anything. There's always a buyer for anything: a car, a house, a couch, a TV, always. It's a question of what price are they prepared to pay. That's what makes the market. In the case of AMC, there were buyers for AMC, knowing though that in the opening, the stock was going to be down about, it was going to be down about $5 a share right off the get-go, right off the bat. The shares are off $5 a share into that 40 range. And it within minutes, it broke the 40 barrier to be in the 39s. And then a few minutes after that, all the way down to 38.76. There was somebody who sold at that price. Someone sold at 38.80, 38.90, 38.95, 39. Someone sold 1, 2, 10, 100, 2,000, however number of investors sold. They got out. They were picked up by buyers, and other buyers thought, hey, this is a bargain. Bargain time at 38.76. Buyers came in, and they came in at 38, 39, and 40. And quickly, the shares were in the 40, 41, 42 range within an hour or so. There was a lack of selling. And all of a sudden, sellers who were thinking of selling all of a sudden went, wait a minute, why should I sell? It went down to 38.76. It's back to 41, 42. Oh, why am I in such a hurry? The shares are actually bouncing back up here. Why don't I wait a little bit, see what's going on? That paid off because it did come back to break even. And all of a sudden, they went, I'm glad I didn't sell $6, $7 below where we closed at last night. And of course, they saw it go even higher. By the way, AMC this morning, 48.91 in the pre-market, up 97 cents. It's just under 50. But something tells me it'll break 50 this morning. I doubt there's enough stock to stop it. The bottom line on AMC, the bottom line on GameStop, and the bottom line on any other stock that's out there is those who have the stock are the folks in control as to where the shares are going to go. And if they don't sell, they don't offer their shares, if only 0.1% of all the stock out there is for sale, you have a thin offer. That's a thin offer, very thin numbers of shares available on the sell side. But on the other hand, if you've got 0.2% of the entire stock outstanding is wanted by those who have some already and want to get more, or those who've been in before and gotten out and want to get back in, or those who really like what they see and want to be long-term holders. There's all kinds of reasons people will come in. You bring in more of those than you have sellers available, you got an imbalance, buy-side imbalance. Stock goes up. And that happens in real estate. That happens in the car market. That happens in art. With Monets and Picassos and whatever. You got more buyers than sellers, away you go. The auctions are great because, of course, auctions, you only have one Picasso for sale at a time. and you might have 50 buyers trying to get a Picasso. Well, first of all, the price is going to go obviously higher than the initial bid from an auction, but it might go higher than the last time a Picasso sold, because the last time a Picasso sold, it went for a record price, and now 50 buyers went in knowing that the last one sold for 14 million. This one could easily go for 14 to 16 million, and they go for 18. And oh my gosh, now the next Picasso after that, here we go. In the stock market situation, we're not talking Picassos, we're not talking one of a kinds, we're talking about turnover of paper that turns over all the time. And it's a psychological battle between those who feel it's the shares are fully priced and this is the price to get out at, versus those who want in. Of course, sometimes people sell stock for other reasons other than they don't like the company. They actually love the company. They're really happy with the company, but they bought the stock at a lower price and they're just cashing out on a profit right now. Every stock, no matter where it trades at, probably has a winner somewhere in the mix. Every one of them. So Gore's Holdings right now, 15.05 in the pre-market, up 16 cents. Looks great. Could have been, though, that yesterday somebody bought at $13.90, $14 and $14.10 a share. They're looking at this $15 market going, I can make a quick buck on a $14 buy by just flipping it out right now. I love Gore. I love Gore's Holdings. I love Matterport. I love all about it. But you know what? I'm going to sell the stock this morning at $15.05. I'm going to take $1 off the table for a $14 purchase. That's like 8% on my money in less than 24 hours. And if the shares back off to 14 again, 14 and a quarter, I'll buy them back. And I'll buy even more shares than I sold. I bought 5,000 shares. I'll sell them all. And now I'll buy back 6,000 shares this morning if it wants to do that. Of course, everyone has their best laid plans. Whether they come true or not and come together or not, that's another matter. So everyone has their reasons for wanting to be a buyer or a seller. At the end of the day, it's how many people feel that 15.05 is too low versus how many people feel 15.05 is a pretty good deal on the sell side. There's your whole dealio. The market right now is up 263 on the Dow. That's telling me a lot of people out there and a lot of institutions and what have you. And again, institutions are people. Don't forget, hedge funds are people. Mutual funds are people. ETFs are people. If more people feel that the Dow will go higher versus lower in the short term, medium term, long term, buying will come in. Acquisitions will be made. And the Dow and the stocks that represent the Dow and the S&P 500 and others will have buying interest in their shares. The more buying interest in the shares, the higher these indexes will go. Excuse me. How high is the big question? With the S&P hitting new highs every day, the NASDAQ doing kind of the same thing, people are looking at the Dow 30 going, what's the problem with the Dow 30? Why won't it hit all-time new highs? And which of the stocks are under the biggest pressure? What are the best deals? What should I get into? If the thinking is that interest rates will stay low for the foreseeable future, the thinking then is that banks will not be able to charge higher interest rates for loans. If they can't charge higher interest rates for loans, they won't have a bigger spread between the cost of getting money to lend out versus what they can get for the money when they do lend it out. The difference between one and the other is their profit margin. What the market fails to fully appreciate, and maybe the media rarely mentions, it almost doesn't matter what interest rates are in a way, because if you want to buy a new car and you go to your friendly bank you go to your friendly bank branch that you've been dealing with for years and years and years, and you want to get a car, you'll have a chat with your loans officer, either over the phone or on an online application or in person. And that person will figure out with you what you can afford to get. They'll say, well, what are you driving now? Like, I got a 8-year-old car. It's worth $4,000 or $5,000. I'm going to trade it in on the new one. I figured out what I want, and the new car is $35,000. I think I can get $4,000 on my used car. I need a loan for like 30,000 bucks or whatever the heck it is. I got $5,000 cash. I got the tax covered. I got this covered. I need 30,000. The banker is going to lend you money based on a couple of factors. What your credit worthiness is number one. But number two, what's the most he can get from you? Because bankers are business people and they love to lend. They love to lend out money at the best price they can get for the money. And if they can convince you that you're a deadbeat or that, that credit card that you have is really hurting your credit rating or whatever, and you are gullible enough to believe this, you might sign a loan document that's 2% higher than maybe you should be paying for money. Oh my gosh, bankers are not crooks, they're business people. But if the banker can borrow the money to lend to you at a lower rate than they lend it to you, there's the spread. The thinking right now is that, well, with low interest rates, banks don't make any money. Well, in reality is, what are banks paying to get money? If they go to the Fed, they can borrow money from the Fed for like a quarter point or virtually nothing. They go to the bond market to borrow money from investors for under bonds. Banks can borrow money right now for half a point to a point. If they offer you a 3-year GIC, a 5-year GIC, a guaranteed investment certificate, what are banks offering you guys? A quarter point, half a point, 1% interest for 5 years locked in? I mean, they're paying nada. If they can turn around and talk to a 25-year-old recent university graduate who just got their first job and they want a car loan or they want a personal line of credit or they want a personal loan or whatever, student loan, they can negotiate 4, 5, 6, 7% rates, no problem. And there's spreads. There are spreads between what it costs the bank to get the money versus what they can sell it for. And the spread is where the profit margin comes in. Now, if it's a $30,000 loan and it's 3% spread between what they cost and what they can get, it's not a lot of money there. If it's a 5% spread, even better. The problem is one car loan doesn't pay for a lot of bills because making a 4% margin spread on a $30,000 loan is $1,200 a year. It's $100 a month. How far does $100 a month go to the bank? Not very far. You got rent, you got insurance, you got security with the security guards and all the insurance you have to pay. The employees running the branch. I mean, these branches need $100,000 a month, maybe $300,000 a month to break even. You got to move money around. And so these loans officers are busy people. They might talk to you for 45 minutes. They might do 7 or 8 meetings a day trying to issue 7 or 8 different loans a day, anywhere from 10 grand a loan to $250,000 per loan with 2% to 5% spreads. Loans officers are under unbearable pressure to write loans. Loans are assets for banks. So if a loans officer in a day can generate $200,000 in loans, that's great. If the same loans officer can generate $300,000 in loans, even better. And $300,000 in loans with a 4% spread, you start adding up this money. We're starting to talk some cash here. $12,000 a year in spreads on a 4% spread on $300,000. That's $1,000 a month in revenue being brought in by this loans officer. How many loans officers this branch has? 5. Each one doing the same thing. They're bringing in $5,000 a day in revenue towards this branch. That's $150,000 a month in revenue coming into this branch from new loan origination. How many loans have we got going already? Millions and millions per branch. This is how branches survive. They're hauling in hundreds of thousands, million or two a month in income spreads on their loan portfolio. This is how banks trade. The reality, though, is it doesn't matter if it's a 0% interest environment, low interest rate environment. It doesn't matter at all. If rates go up 3 points and the prime rate is now 5.5%, 6%, and banks have to offer a 2% payout on 5-year GICs, you walk in for a car loan at that point in time, you're not going to get a loan for 2%. You're going to get a loan for 7 or 8% and be dang happy you got it, because prime is 5. You're paying 6 or 7. All of a sudden, everything goes up. Mortgages go up. All kinds of loans go up. Of course, the problem with that is the banks theoretically are making more money, but they're not. They're not making more money. They got 3-4% spreads between what they're paying for the money, what they're getting for the money. The other problem banks are having is that the higher the rates go, the more people back off borrowing money. They don't want to borrow as much because it's expensive. It's getting more expensive to carry that new car. They either buy a used car or they buy a lower priced car. So they come in for a loan, but they were going to come in for a $30,000 loan. They're now coming in for a $20,000 loan. This is bad news for banks because, yes, you're making 4 points on your spread like you were before, but the customer is a smaller customer. Small businesses might be coming in for a $200,000 loan to regenerate their business or operate a second outfit. The banker says, I can't lend you that kind of cash. Your business doesn't have that kind of rating right now. I can only lend you half the amount that you're looking for. And the business owner goes back, figures everything, comes back, says, okay, I'll take that deal. I've rejiggered my game plan. The bad news for the bank is that they've just cut themselves off from a $200,000 loan to a $100,000 loan at a 4% spread, which is what they would have had a year ago with lower rates. But the perception by investors is, higher rates, banks make more money. Banks will be able to charge more for loans. They'll make way more money. Not necessarily the case. It's interesting how the mind goes, the psychological brain functions in business. People perceive higher interest rates as bad news for their business, and in a way they're right. But in another way, they forget that if you have 5 to 7% interest rates at prime or prime plus 2, and you've got 4% inflation, 5% inflation instead of 1 or 2% inflation, you actually, as a business owner, can begin to raise your prices. For the first time in maybe a decade or two, you can start raising your prices for certain goods and services you offer that will slip into the business environment without anyone even mentioning it or caring. And that might be a good thing for your bottom line, because there are businesses out there who would love to raise prices to increase profits if only they could, but they're being checked by competition. Everyone after the same customers, too many businesses, not enough clients. You have restrictions on being able to raise your costs unless you get creative and ways to, offer value for service and find other ways to raise money or raise your prices and bring in more money. So there you have it. You've got this whole back and forth mentality. Yesterday, it was all about lower rates because the economy was slowing down or not growing as fast as we thought it would grow because of supply constraints and the virus outbreaks and these other new areas where the viruses are a problem. Today, it's not that bad. We actually had a recovery yesterday in the markets. We were down 550. We only lost 200 odd. That's telling a lot of sideliners and a lot of investors, it's not as bad as it seems. That might have been an overreaction. And so now we're up 262 points on the pre-market to start the day. One day psychology is not tomorrow's. Sometimes it lasts a while. Other times it just is a little phase, and we get through it and we move on. And we've had this now time after time now for month after month, where markets are just not giving up the momentum, and they're not backing off in any serious way other than catastrophic events. But markets do not seem to want to back off, even with a serious correction right now, because there is so much cash available to the system that business continues on. If you go to your banker, again, not every single one of you, but some of you who go to your bankers, or some of you are getting constantly contacted by your bank, either personally with a phone call or with an email or with offers to take out all kinds of loans and borrow all kinds of money. Pardon me. Where you can't believe the offers you're getting. Some of you are being offered lines of credit at historically low rates. You're being offered lines of credit against your house value. You're being offered second mortgages. You're being offered new mortgages. You're being offered refinancing offers. And you're realizing just how much capital, in a way, how much cash is available to you if you want to take it. It's when you don't need it is when the banks are dying to give it to you. It's when you need it, the banks don't have any. Isn't that how it goes? This environment, this economy we're in for North America and Europe is drowning in capital that's available through central banks to get the economy going and get it building and get it running up again. Because governments realize, and they know it, that an employed electorate is the best electorate to approach for your vote. You want to talk to voters when they're too busy working. Okay, I'll give you my vote. Just leave me alone. I'm busy making money. It's when they're not busy making money and are on their hands going, gosh, when am I going to get a job? Or when is my business going to pick up? And now the politician comes knocking. Oh, have they got questions for you? As politicians, you don't want to be in that environment. You do not want to approach voters who've got all the time in the world to harass you about the state of the world. You really want to approach voters when they're incredibly busy, doing incredibly well, and will just give you the vote saying, yeah, let's just keep it the same because it's going okay for me. Let's just leave it the same the way it is, and we'll move on from here. That's what a politician loves to have happen to them. Anyway, there you have it, a little rant from yours truly as to how things are going and what happens and why and however else. We're always looking at stocks, looking for the best deals we can find, trying to justify, well, should we be buyers or should we be sellers or should we not? Should we avoid a stock at all costs? And you do this on a constant basis. And you assess a stock for a short-term transaction, medium-term, or long-term. And an example of a short-term trade is something I mentioned a few days ago, IBM. I mentioned IBM a few days ago. There was basically technically bad news, I guess, temporary bad news, which was the fact that the one of the top guys at IBM was leaving the company, and the stock took a bit of a tumble. Well, I looked at the news and I thought, this isn't the founder of IBM. This is just a long succession of guys who are out of here. This fellow was the red hat guy and he's no longer involved, but there are others who've taken his place. The shares, I think, went down too far, too fast. And yesterday morning, even with the $550 pre-market indications, IBM was as low as 137.66 yesterday morning, which was again a mistake by whoever it was who sold at that price and sold under 139. Oh, are they regretting it now? Because here we are in the pre-market right now, 141.50, up 76 cents on IBM. We're up $4 practically from the low yesterday morning. Now, I mentioned on, I think it was Friday, even before the long weekend, I mentioned that with IBM dropping off like it did from the mid 140s, that this stock could be a short-term opportunity for option players. And I mentioned to the channel here, you may want to consider buying IBM call options, 140s, 141s, 42s. That are maybe a month to go, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months out, 3 months out, because the thinking I had was that there would be a knee-jerk correction back into the 142, 43 level without too much difficulty. And it looks like this is coming true because now at 141.50, we're within $1.50 of that range. And anyone who did buy some call options back even last Friday should be smiling in a few minutes this morning. In about 23 minutes when they open for trading, they should start smiling because their contracts should be showing a reflective higher number. And it's possible that IBM could add another buck to the price today and reach the 142.50, even 143 range. It's entirely likely because, again, it is oversold. There's those short-term, there are those occasional short-term trades that come up. Then there are the medium trades that come up that I come up across. And on the option side, the SPACs, all of the SPACs I've been following, especially these SPACs who they're now evolving away from being SPACs. They're becoming standalone public companies unto themselves. Unfortunately, they don't all move at the same pace at the same time. They're all different now, and they're all going to go their own different direction. But picking up long-term call contracts on SPACs for say that have 6, 7, 8 months to go, where hi Jen, where you can buy calls that are say January calls at 10 or 12.50 a call, for example. You're asking the stock anytime between now and 6 months from now to take a little pop from the SPAC level, which is this $10 level ish, depending on which one we're talking about, to a higher range. And days like yesterday don't matter, especially in mornings like yesterday don't matter. If we have a bad opening and you've got a contract that's good for 6 months, you don't have to worry about a one-day anomaly like we had yesterday morning. Good news, though, on a number of the SPACs we were following, they actually had an up day. Because as the day wore on, investors in these companies were realizing, hey, these companies aren't the problem. These companies aren't going to suffer from a perceived interest rate thing and an inflation thing. These are new, up and coming, growing really quickly companies sitting on a ton of cash that they just got inherited, got given to them, and are about to get because they're going from a SPAC to a company. I think these companies can actually go higher, and that began to sink into a number of people's heads, and up they went. And for an example, Gore's Holdings yesterday, 1386 for its low trade, to close out at 1489, and yet hit a high of 1505 yesterday. So that stock went up $1.20 during the day yesterday. Anyone picking up call options when the stock was in that $13.80 to $14 range were pretty happy people at the end of the night last night. Even the start right now, we're at $14.90 to start the day. There's a classic example of a turnaround. SOFI is another one. I mean, my goodness, SOFI was at 1610 for its low yesterday, only for a brief moment, but it touched it. Closed out last night at 1662. Nothing to get excited about. It was still a down day of 32 cents, but it was up 52 cents from the low of the day. Right now, it's at 1686, up 24 cents on the pre-market on 200,000 shares this morning. So there's a follow-through move to bring it higher. Keep in mind, though, even with a 24-cent gain right now, it's still down 8 cents from the day before's close. So it's still cheap, but there are profits in them there, Hills, for these short-term deals. Of course, SOFI does what I expect it to do, and that gets into the $25, $30 neighborhood. Anyone and everybody who's been picking up options on SOFI that I've been talking about now for a month and a bit, will, no matter what you paid for your contracts, you will all profit substantially. And if that happens between now and later this month and into August, you guys are going to be happy campers. And of course, you will then sell out of your January calls and roll over into probably next year July calls, way out, and you'll take a new position way out there with maybe a quarter of your proceeds from this not lovely gain that you're about to make on your options. You'll only take a quarter of your proceeds, buy additional calls further out, and the rest of that capital you'll allocate elsewhere. It might go right into SOFI shares, and you're going to now become a larger shareholder in SOFI, and now you're going to become a short-term option writer to bring in new money. Lots of strategies coming up, lots of things to do, all kinds of money to make. As I said earlier, we are no longer, and never have been actually, a one stock channel. A lot of people at the beginning of my going live in January of this year, they all assumed that I was just a GameStop guy and that I would just talk GameStop and that's all I would talk about. And this channel has never been a GameStop channel unto itself. It was created over a year ago as a how the stock markets work in plain English. And we're now evolving into a channel that continues to talk about the stock market in plain English, at least as best as I can for you. But I also mentioned stocks that you may want to look into above and beyond just GameStop. I love GameStop and I love the upside potential of GameStop, but there are others that are available for your viewing pleasure. Some of the other shares that I like that are out there, just so you know, here we go. Here's a list of my some of the favorites that I have. I've got Apple right here. We've got Cisco, Facebook, GameStop, of course, Home Depot right there. Then IBM, Intel, Microsoft, Micron, and Vanek Vectors, the ETF. These have been on my recommended favorite list now for 4 months at least. Here are the stocks that were once SPACs and not going to be SPACs any longer. Eventually, we're talking about here ATIP, physiotherapy centers. We've got Fifth Wall Acquisition, which I keep calling Fifth Wheel. They're going to become Smart Rent when they finish their deal. Here's Gord's. It's about to become Matterport in 11 days because today is the 9th, and on the 20th of July, Matterport right here is going to take over. Let's see if I can do this. Matterport is going to take over Gord's. Everything's reversed. 23andMe right here. ME is another favorite. Spire is going to take over Navstar Holdings. SOFI is SOFI now. Cyxtera is taking over SVAC, and Rocket Lab is taking over VACQ. These are my favorite either SPACs or what used to be known as SPAC stocks going forward. And so there's a collection of different companies and different businesses available for your investing pleasure. Don't forget, tomorrow at noon Eastern time and Sunday noon Eastern, class is in session. There I am, my 4'8" frame in front of my board. How am I going to reach the top of that board with those magic markers? There's only one way to find out. You got to watch the class live or watch the rerun. Watch the edited version off of my website. Check it out. We have a website, Stock Markets with Bruce, is now available for your enjoyment. The website is stockmarketswithbruce.ca, and we've got some new logos here. We got some new items with the logos on it. I'm excited. It's just great. Jen and I, we're loving it. Jen and I, we love going out every day after I do my live shows, and we head to Tim Hortons, and she likes to get dressed up in something nice and cool and comfortable, so she's not too hot out there, although she's always hot. I mean, look at her. She's hot. Look at that. Of course, she's always holding me up when I'm standing up with my stilts, being only 4'8" tall, I need support. So you'll see me from time to time looking a little shaky, but she's got my hand there on her hip, and she's not going to let me fall over. She's got me covered, and I'm loving life, man. You got to, yeah. How can a guy like me not be happy with this kind of a babe hanging around, man? My Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife. You got to love it, Auntie Jen. Thank you, all of you out there who say hi to her all the time. She loves it, and we are working together tomorrow on the classes. Auntie Jen will be monitoring your comments and questions for those of you who are joining me live tomorrow and Sunday, and then we'll see what we can do. We can get you educated on how to buy and sell options and then how to write options. We'll do all that on Saturday and Sunday. So thank you one and all for being here today. Hope you don't mind the rant today. I hope you enjoyed it. The Dow is still showing, and will probably still show a 249-point gain on the pre-market. S&P is showing 18-point gain. NASDAQ down a little at 15 points negative. We had oil up $1.09 a barrel, and it's back to 74.03. The thinking is that the analysts are saying, well, there was a drawdown on the oil last week. Well, yeah, no kidding, Sherlock. Usually during the July 4th long weekend, there is typically a drawdown on fuel in the United States every July 4th. It was, after all, a long weekend. It happened to be the first long weekend after the pandemic's worst has come and gone. And so a lot of people got out of the house to go visit friends and check out some fireworks shows and go camping and you name it. So yeah, America's on the move right now.
We were noticeably different.
Yes, we were noticeably different. Jennifer saying we were noticeably different here in Creston. We saw trailers and RVs coming through town and a whole bunch of older folks on motorbikes. We're noticing a lot of white-haired motorcyclists around here having a great old time on their bikes. And it's that time of year. It's gorgeous. It's warm. It's sunny. Here in Creston, we're in the 90s now, and it's going to be absolutely dry, sunny weather. It's gorgeous weather. Camping galore. We're up and running, so it's good. It's a good sign. Anyway, there you have it. SOFI is 1690 in the pre-market right now. Anti-PC, you know it. Keep going, baby. That's right. 1690 up 28 cents. Another 4 cents, and it will eliminate the loss of yesterday entirely. What will it do when we open? I don't know, but we'll see. It just looks much better. The stock was and has been oversold here for about a week. Can it pop back to the 1820 range? Easily. Will it? That's the question. What are the intentions of short sellers and how much activity is there on short sell? I don't know. We'll stay on top of all of this. Eddie is saying, hey, hi, Jen. How you doing? Good morning, all. SOFI looking good today. Let's see. Happy birthday, Anti-PC. That's right. Happy birthday, Anti-PC. Congratulations on 21 wonderful years. Now you can go on dates without having to ask your mom and dad whether you can go on dates or not. You can go out with your girlfriends and enjoy. You'll be able to proudly show off your license your ID to any bouncer and be allowed in all the clubs because you're 21 now. Way to go. Welcome to the rest of us. This is good stuff. Does anyone have a shot of adrenaline? I sure need it this morning, says Ona. Ona, welcome to the show. Let's see how it's going to go. It should be fun. Mr. Joshua saying, it's crazy here in Houston. It's been raining for like 2 weeks in the 80s. Unbelievable. You're getting the rain. California needs the rain. Western U.S. needs the rain, and you've got it, and it's just not moving the direction it's got to be going. Unbelievable. IBM 141.48, looking good. Yep, IBM is doing just fine. Looking for hopefully a nice pop to get the morning going here. We open up in about 9-10 minutes from now. So we're looking forward to seeing the opening on all these stocks that we're following. Gore's Holdings right now showing $15 a share, up 11 cents. Let's see, who else do we got going here? ATIP yesterday closed at 8.49 after being as low as 8.01. It's now 8.71 on the pre-market. I'm not sure if that's going to hold that price. Very thin trading. We'll see what that's all about, but definitely moving in the right direction. We'll look for hopefully better movement from that. 23andMe 1063 yesterday's close, which was a 63-cent gain yesterday after dropping to 960. That was a $1 swing yesterday with a 550-point drop to start the day and a recovery, 300-point recovery. And here is the 23andMe. It went up on the day. It's now 1059 right now, hanging around the same price. Bed Bath & Beyond price target is raised to $30 from $19 at Credit Suisse. Well, welcome to the party, pal. The stock has been at $30 for months. I tell you, these analysts, clueless. They just Captain Obvious. This guy's got to be given a title. Vector Acquisitions up 2 cents to $11.15 a share. Where else are we at? GameStop right now close at 191.38. It's 191.31, down 7 cents. In the aftermarket, it was lower. It was down in the high 180s last night. We're right back to where it left off last night on the GameStop. So we'll watch that. NSH closed at 996 last night. It's now 997. Waiting on its shareholder vote. SVAC Starboard value is sitting at 1010, down 3 cents. Nothing much going on there. Fifth Wall Acquisition, 1165 was the close. Was that the last pre-trade? But I don't know if we have any volume to speak of here, so I'm not sure if this is accurate. It closed at $12 last night. It had been as low as 1146. We'll see how it does in the morning. AMC here now sitting at 48.68, up 74 cents on a volume of 1.8 million in the pre-market. And that is kind of where we're at right now. We're keeping an eye on SOFI and all the others to see where they want to start off with, taking us. Where are we going? 16.89 on SOFI, up 27 cents. 8 minutes to the opening, holding the 240-point gain on the Dow all morning. It's been good. It was around 110-point gain with about an hour and a half to go. Then it moved up, and it's been holding ever since around 240, 250. We'll see if that's how we open at this morning to start the day. A lot of price targets have been adjusted. All-state stock price raised to 139 from 118 at UBS. There's been other interesting calls and adjustments to guesstimates as to where stocks are going to go by some of these analysts out there. I was noticing a few others. Just trying to check here. What do we got here? We got Star Surgical started at perform with $150 stock price from Oppenheimer. We have, let's see here. What else have we got going? Any more to talk about? Laredo Petroleum stock price raised to 100 from 52 at Raymond James. Angiodynamics stock price raised to 32 from 27 at Raymond James. Professional Holdings started as an outperform at the $22 price target at Raymond James. Guarantee Bank shares started at outperform, $40 stock price at Raymond James. Let's see, what else do we see? Anything else? China lowers bank reserve requirements to encourage lending. That's a sign the Chinese economy is slowing up. Humana stock price target raised to 514 from 440 at JP Morgan. Boston Beer stock, the target is cut to 1,074 from 1,280 at Deutsche Bank. We've got a DTE Energy stock price cut to 123 from 146 at Mitsui. Let's see what else. Anything else to kind of excite us here? Advanced Auto Parts stock price target raised to 230 from 215 at Credit Suisse. O'Reilly Automotive stock price target raised to 605 from 496. Makes sense because cars are worth more money and cars are being kept on the road longer because of how difficult it is to get a new car these days. And so these auto parts outfits are doing well. AutoZone has been raised to 1660 from 1560 at Credit Suisse. So Credit Suisse across the board, all the auto part guys have been improved, bumped up. Union Pacific stock has been raised to 260 from 249. Old Dominion stock raised to 298 from 267. Costco stock fair value estimate raised to 385 from 336 at MKM Partners. General Motors started as at an outperform rating with an $85 stock price target with Wedbush at the moment. So there's some definite upgrades showing here and there on the markets. We are now down to 4 minutes to go before we start trading. We got SOFI at 1690 to 1694 right now, tickling that $17 neighborhood. We're going to see if it can do that or not. 1690 now on 225,000, 1695 on 229,000 shares for SOFI. So there you go. We definitely have some stocks picking up some momentum, looking better on price. And this sure beats yesterday, doesn't it? It sure does. We will keep an eye on all of these guys and see how they do. First thing in the morning, 191.41 on GameStop right now. Dow up 246 right now. Getting all stuffed up today. My goodness. It is what it is. We've had a lot of lawn work done here. We had a lot of work done on our lawn and our yard, so I think I'm suffering from that. Pardon me one sec. Try to keep everything clear and keep breathing and keep on going. Thank you, everybody. Let's see what we can do today. We're down to 2 minutes before we start the trading here. Getting closer and closer and closer. The folks at CNBC are winding up with their final commercials, and we're about to start trading. 247 gain on the Dow, 17-point gain on S&P, 19-point drop on NASDAQ. And the tropical storm Elsa is soaking New York right now as it races up the East Coast. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how dry one is, and not. I know New York's got flooding issues, so they're not having any fun over there. I'll tell you that. SOFI right now, 1695 last trade is where we're at now. Getting ready for the opening trades, as we'll see how we are going to perform here today. Can we make some money? That is the question. We sure deserve an update today, to say the least, on a whole bunch of stocks that we're following right now. Unchanged on 23andMe, unchanged on Gores, really. ATI physical virtually unchanged. Starboard sitting at 1010. Vector at 1090, 1110. 1110 was 1098 yesterday. 1110. IBM right now is 141.38, up 64 cents. Coming into the last minute and a half, CNBC is talking about market alert. The market alert is stocks are set to rebound after. That's a market alert? Really? That's an alert? That's called doing your job, following the market. That's your job. It's not a market alert. I mean, what are these terms? All this clickbait crap. What am I going to say? Sorry, folks. Well, anyway, there it is. Those of you who have been checking with me on the classes, we're all good to go. We've been receiving funds from everyone here, a bunch of folks who've requested to join us. All of you who are looking to join us for the classes, you will receive an email alert from yours truly about 15 minutes or so before we start the class. You'll be coming on in and joining Jen and I live tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Eastern time is when the class begins, and we'll see how it goes. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Really looking forward to this. Let's see. Hey, Uncle Bruce, can you show a link on the new website for us? How we can find you on the website? It's stockmarkerswithbruce.ca. But let me see if I can pop in a little thing here for you. A little thingy. Hang on. Let me see if I can make this thingy work. We'll do that, and we'll go there, and we'll go here, and we'll pop this in like that, and there it is right there. There you go. There is the link to the channel, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca, just www.stockmarkerswithbruce.ca. There you go. Let me know what you think of the website. I hope you like it, and we'll see how it works out. We're looking forward to posting our classes on there starting tomorrow night. Yeah, that's coming up. Okay, we're about ready. The bells are ringing. We're going, baby. We're happening. It's a happening thing. Let's take a look at the markets right now and see if we get some early indications. What's happening? Let me reload my phone and zero right in on the quotes. Here we go. SOFI. I show SOFI at the moment at $16.70, up 8 cents on an opening salvo of 481,000 shares. That's the first indication. GameStop 189.78 down 160. ATIP 849 up 29 cents. AMC down 37 cents at 47.57. Gore is up a dime at 14.99. 23andMe unchanged at 10.63. Fifth Wall, I don't think it's traded yet. Vector up 6 cents to 11.19. NavSite down a penny to 9.96. And Starboard up 2 cents. At the moment, over on IBM, we're up 55 cents to 141.29. 128,000 shares, and the Dow is showing a gain of 149 points. We will watch this closely as we reload all our devices. 151 now on the Dow, higher. S&P up 18, NASDAQ up 23, right away up 23. We've got GameStop at now at 191.24. 190.19 on GameStop, down about $1. SoFi now 16.74, up 12 cents to start the morning here. We'll keep on top of this market. 16.75 on SoFi, 533,000 shares. 16.76 on SoFi. So it's coming back. It's coming on. I think it's going to run up to the 16.90 level where we left off on the pre-market. We'll see. GameStop 191, ATIP 860 up 11 cents. AMC now up 12 cents to 48.06. Gore's at $15 up 11 cents. 23andMe down 12 cents, 10.51. Fifth Wall, is it opened yet? Not sure. Looks like it's 11.65 unchanged. Yeah, it looks like it's unchanged at the moment. VACQ Vector up 6 cents to 11.20. NavSite down a penny, and Starboard up 2 pennies right now. Vanik Vector's up 59 cents. Home Depot up 2.54. IBM up 63 cents. The Dow up 2.06 and climbing. Microsoft down 72. Apple up a dime. Tesla down $2. Bed Bath & Beyond up 75 cents to 29.20. BlackBerry unchanged, 11.55. Cruise lines, Royal Caribbean up 50 cents, 79.95. Norwegian up a penny. Carnival up a penny. Not a lot happening there. Amazon up $4.97 a share, $4.97. Facebook up $1.60. Google up $2.86 right at the moment. JP Morgan's up a little bit, $1 or so. Goldman up $6 a share. That's good to see. Not much else to yell about. Intel up a nickel, Micron down a penny. I mean, it's just early. Up 212 now on the Dow, 16.73 on SoFi, 190.21 on GameStop. As we're beginning to find ourselves here, ATIP up 2 cents to 8.51. Gore's up 2 cents. So there you go. That is our initial trades at this point in time. Welcome. And Adventures with Duncan, how you doing, buddy? So haven't seen you in a while. Nice to have you around. Let me see if I can show you our banner. The stocks are recommended list right here. Here they are. Here, the stock, my stock faves and my ETF favorite, which is SMH. There it is, right there. These guys are, generally speaking, doing all right, especially the last several months, except for Intel, perhaps. But I think Intel in the long run will be a winner. But you got to have a stomach, a cast iron stomach. Sometimes you buy, you hold, and you wait. Over here on the SPAC front, we got some that are done, some that will be done. We're waiting for. Still waiting for FWAA, Gores Holdings, which will be July 20th. That's in 11 days. It will become Matterport. That's the next one to turn over. NAV, NSH, and SVAC, VACQ are the next. There are still 5 to go. Gores will be number 5. There'll be 4 left to turn over and become their own publicly traded companies. And we're excited about this. Looking good. Welcome one. Let's get the day traders out of the way. Let's see. Yes, Fumbler speaks truth. Uncle Bruce, not find your new site. A link might be useful. Again, it should be showing stockmarketswithbruce.ca. That is the number, the price of the site, and it's in the description down below. This show, yesterday's show, you should be able to find the links there. Head on over there, check it out. Anyway, what can I say? Let's give those, see what's going on. Let's give Uncle Bruce those thumbs ups and get him to 1,000. Thank you, everybody. We already have 362 thumbs ups all ready to start the day. Thank you, everybody, for this. Keep those thumbs ups coming, folks. Thank you very, very much for your support. 1676 up 14 cents on SOFI. GameStop now 189.10 down $2. ATIP up 8 cents to 8.57. Gores up a dime to 14.99. 23andMe down 20 cents. Fifth Wall unchanged. Vector up 7 cents. Starboard up a couple cents. Not a lot happening yet, but it's definitely not carnage. I'll tell you that. We're not sitting on a scenario where the markets are going down like yesterday. Nothing like that at all. We're up 223 on the Dow. We're up 20 on S&P. We're up 13 on NASDAQ. And so we have a good start to the day here. This will encourage Europe to go higher in this last few hours, with America going higher today to start the day, add a little more momentum to everything. And we'll take it. It is the weekend coming up, and short week come and gone, and away we go next week again, further down the road. Like I say, 11 days away from Gores becoming Matterport. So next week, Friday, will be the 16th, and then in 4 days, looks like by Tuesday, the next Tuesday, the vote will be held. We could see Matterport stock symbol pop up before the week is out, the week after next. So we're close. Very close. All right. Let's see how we do. Thank you, everybody. That was easy, says John. Let's see. When they say, for example, that GM has a target price of $85, they don't say when. That's right. What are we supposed to do with that info, assuming it's correct? Just buy the stock on the long. You're listening to one person's opinion. That's all that is. It's an analyst. Certainly, the analysts who will be making this call, if they're with a larger firm, they've got experience, they've been around a while, they're likely an automotive analyst or a transportation specialist analyst. They likely will have made several reports on GM in the past, and they're revising an existing analytical report, which is typical. You would usually do one a year. You'd usually do at least one a year. You might do updates during the calendar year after every quarterly report is released. You might then do an update. In the case of something like Apple, you'll do quarterly adjustments if you need to, or you'll do adjustments after some of these live presentations that they have to investors and to software developers and the world at large when they want to announce a new product. You'll see analysts come out with upgrades or updates on Apple with guesstimations on how said product will do, or the company as a whole. Certainly at the end of a fiscal year, when an annual report comes out or an annual meeting is held, analysts will usually do an update with their impressions on management's plans and hopes, dreams, and aspirations. But this guesstimate of $85 a share is not a guarantee of a certain price at a certain guaranteed time, but it might be an indication that between now and a year from now, the analyst is expecting the shares could reach these levels. When I get frustrated is when I see an analyst come out with this example for Bed Bath and Beyond, and they say our price target is now $30 a share. Well, the stock is trading at $30 a share, has been there for months, even over that price already. It's telling me that they're really just justifying in their mind that, well, where the stock is where it should be. Where were these guys 3 months ago? Why didn't you revise 3-4 months ago when the stock was already doing this? Again, they all have their own unique way of doing what they do. There's no playbook, no official playbook for analysts. It's not like every analyst is like the other analyst. They're all independents. They all have their own style. They have their followers who are their disciples. Like I say, they justify in their mind what they justify. Obviously, with GameStop, as many of you know, GameStop has analysts, maybe 5 of them, that follow the stock, and only one of them has the stock at a $190 price, and that is Jeffries, and that's where the stock is. Whereas the rest of them are showing $9 to $19 or $29 as their guesstimate as to where they think the stock will be in the next year. There are no fans other than one. There's only one fan of GameStop from an official analyst position. In reality, though, there are probably 40 analysts that could write up GameStop, but they choose not to. Only 5 have even bothered to do any kind of updates, and most of those are complete skeptics. They're completely against this company's business plan. They're writing it off as a lost cause. They will not change their minds. Again, there's no one standard, and there is no way to make an analyst change their mind. Analysts say what they want. They guess the way they want to guess it. And sometimes they don't do an update for 2 years. Other times they'll drop coverage entirely. They'll just give up and not bother covering it anymore. It all depends. It's the wild west, I suppose, is what we've got going here. The thing too that you got to remember is if you've ever seen the movie The Big Short, you'll see there's a scene in there where these traders who are betting against the housing market, who are convinced the housing market is going into the tubes, they go to this ratings agency to talk to someone there about how they are rating bonds backed by the housing market, these collateral debt obligations, and they want to know why is it that these bonds are have a failure rate. The number of mortgages are not being paid is over 8%, which should make the bonds come down in a grading. Shouldn't be AAA rated bonds, and these agencies keep them rated at AAA, even though a substantial number of these mortgages are in default. And the analyst is the employee of the firm is wishy-washy and not quite answering it. And finally, they just confront this individual, and finally the analyst admits, well, the reason is that if we don't give them a AAA rating, the bankers will just go down the street to these guys and they'll give them a AAA rating. And this was the way of the world in the mid-2000s, where these collateralized debt obligations, CDOs and whatnot, all of these mortgage-backed securities were ranked at AAA when they were worth nothing. They were garbage. And even when they began to falter, they were not being ranked lower because the ratings agencies were actually being paid by the brokers to rank the stock. Now, there are instances from time to time where people will point fingers at certain stock analysts and say, you guys, this one and this one and this one, you guys are targeting, or you are writing up a company and giving it a target price and a buy rating, when in reality, you're an outlier. And the reason you're doing it is because you have a banking relationship with the company. Well, this has been an accusation made against Jefferies with regards to GameStop. The Jefferies analyst is putting the stock at $190 target price, which used to be $175 and now $190. The rest of Wall Street is going, well, of course you're going to give it a 190 ranking because you're the banker for GameStop. You're the guys who just raised $2 billion or $1 billion odd dollars for GameStop by issuing stock, 5 million shares. You earned all kinds of commissions from these guys. Of course, the broker's saying, well, if we're wrong, if we're so bad and we're so biased, why did we sell 5 million shares at $225 a share? If your ranking at $12 or $15 or $19 is accurate, why would people pay $225 a share if we're wrong? And there's an argument to be made there. The checks were cashed, the dollars were raised. The company raised $1.9 billion in the last 6 months now in fresh cash at substantially higher prices than any other analyst's recommendation for GameStop shares. So there are times where the analytical guess like this here for GameStop or General Motors is in its own world, and the reality of the market is in another world. And the same can be said with stocks like GameStop. You have $29 price targets with a $190 stock price. There are these anomalies all over the place. And as I say, there's no handbook on how to do this business. That's just what it is. I'll be shocked if GM ever hits 85 again. Anyway, they have their own style. Eagles, I don't know what they're talking about. What is the price on SOFI right now? SOFI 1668 up 6 cents as of this moment in time. 1669 I'm showing now. Another update. Thanks for the update. Good morning, Bruce from Kevin. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. I love your gumption. Bruce, how did they trade so fast before we had tech, like before the phone and the telegraph? How did they do it? Of course, in the early 1900s, you used to have the telegraph, and you'd literally have desk traders putting in the trades to the floor trader, and they'd yell it out, and they'd get the confirmation in the floor trader back to the desk trader, and he'd write the ticket out, and that's how you got your fill. The speed of light. Trading by the speed of light, from a desk trader to the floor runner to the floor back. Within 5 minutes, you had a quote. You had a quote or you had a fill. And of course, on the floor, you constantly had these guys sending out telegraphs all the time, all day long, listing the prices of the stocks. And then at the brokerage office in the old days, you used to have what used to be a giant set of blackboards all the way around the room, and you had chalk guys, the chalk kids, writing down prices of stocks, because they had the ticker there from the floor, and they were reading the tape all the time, and they would change the price of standard and standard steel or U.S. Steel and General Electric, and all the stock quotes would constantly be changing, bid, ask, last trade off these tickers. And that's where these old photos you see from the 1929 stock market crash, you're looking at these brokers, looking at these reams of long strips of paper coming out of this glass dome telegraph machine, just spitting out the indexes, the stock prices, and commentary. Those were the days. What can I say? Let's see. That lady actress at the ratings agency with ridiculous glasses was hilarious. That was a funny scene. I love how the ratings lady was having her eyes dilated the day in that scene to add to the idea that she couldn't see straight. It's made of gold. And also, when they say GM has an $85 target, can't just a rosy analysis create a $5, $10 pump on the stock shortly, and the attention deficit kicks in a month or two later, people stop selling or buying? Jesus, this is the 70s or the 40s. Back in the day, before the phone, it was all by telegraph for instant stock quotes. And this is nationwide, of course, and international. You had brokers in London trading New York stock off the telegraph. And you could buy and sell stock back then. You could buy and sell stock off a cruise ship, off an ocean liner, through the telegraph, through the wireless. You could do trades. You would, of course, on your ocean liner, you would send a telegraph to your broker in Connecticut, let's say, and say, hey, what's the price of General Electric? They would get the telegram at the office, or they would get it at the local telegraph office within a minute or two, 5 minutes. That piece of paper with that telegram message from an ocean liner would be on the broker's desk. The broker would immediately respond, would run over to his telegraph operator in the firm, because they usually have it in the firm, and they would get a message to the cruise line to get to the customer. The customer then would get a response within about 5 minutes saying, yeah, your General Electric's trading at $28 a share, whatever price was. And if the customer wanted to buy or sell any stock, they would put in an order. And excuse me, that would be telegraphed from the ship, wireless, back to the brokerage firm, and the broker would execute the trade using the telegraph, and then wire back the wirelessly send back the confirmation to the client. There were stories in 1929 that when the market crashed, the big crash, there were stories that some international ocean liner passengers got on their ship in London to go to New York. And when they left London, they were millionaires. So when they got to New York, without checking the markets in the meantime, or they were reading headlines on board the ship, because telegraph news is constantly being telegraphed to the telegraph office, and they had a printing press on the ship to literally print out versions of the New York Times or of the Times of London for the first class passengers. These guys would get off the ship and realize, I'm broke. I've lost all my money, because they were on margin. They were all margined out. They were sold out by margin. So they'd land in New York and or in London, getting off a cruise ship of an ocean liner, penniless or very, very poor. Those were crazy times. Anyway, what can I say? SOFI is number 3 trending on Wall Street bets for what it's worth. Anybody care? 16.66 on the stock, up 4 cents right now. GameStop down 2.64. ATIP down 4 cents to 8.45. AMC down 84 cents to 47.10. Gores down 2 cents. ME up 2 cents. Fifth Wall Acquisition down a penny. Vector up 6. Navsite down 1 and Starboard up 3. Not a lot of change going on our stocks. We're up 313 now on the Dow, climbing. We got S&P up 26, NASDAQ up 26, so it's looking good. Becoming a player in the securities business in the last 6 months. I'm now a stock analyst. My target price for the stocks is higher. How about that? Bruce is in rare form today. NTPC must be someone's birthday today. AB, I saw some movie that took place in 1990, and when a stockbroker was on vacation, they got their orders via fax. Yes, the fax. I also remember entering and handling trades as a desk trader through telex machines. This is also a late 1970s phenomena that died very quickly. By early 80s, that was gone. But it was a way to transact business in writing. And that was important for relationships, where you had a brokerage firm like ours, a small little house in Calgary, and we would want to buy stock on the New York Stock Exchange. The firm in New York would only accept an order from us in writing. So we would do a telex request. So I would send in a telex message. I would dial up. How did we do that? I would dial up the firm. The thing would connect, and then I would type in buy 100 GM at MKT at market. Enter, and then that would come out, and the desk trader would get it, pick up the phone to his New York guy, buy 100 GM at market, filled at 53 and a quarter. And he'd type back, bought 100 GM, 53 and a quarter filled, and then thank you, and then that would telex that back. We would have it in writing on the back side. They'd have it in writing on the front side, and now we had 5 business days to transact the deal, where we would wire the money to these guys, and they would then send us the certificate via Brinks, and we would end up with the certificate maybe a week later, a week or so later. We'd have the cert, they'd have the dough, and we would have the business conducted. That's why commissions used to be 3%. It took 3% commission to do trades like this because of the labor involved, the shipping of certificates involved, the back office banking involved. The profit for the house was minimal, absolutely minimal money. However, to buy 100 shares of General Motors at 50 odd bucks a share, that's $5,000. That's $150 commission. We would find, there would be a couple of bucks, maybe $8 to $10 a trade net profit after it was all said and done, net out of the transaction. We look for volume, of course. If we could do 20 trades a day, we'd make $200 a day, but we had to handle now 20 transactions a day to earn that money to close out deals. Now, sometimes we were buyers, sometimes we were sellers. We'd be on one side of a trade versus another side of the trade. The back office people would figure it out. Our back office person would go, okay, well, we bought 20 grand worth of stock out in New York last week on this day, but we sold 20 grand worth of stock last week as well. And so the net position is we need to transfer these guys $150. That's all we owe the New York guys, because they owe us $20,000. We owe them $20,150. So we would just do this $150 transaction with a list of all the transactions. And this would be done by telex. So our gal in the back office would be typing up on a telex machine the entire transaction and then telexing that to New York going, we're paying you for these, you're paying us for those. Do we agree with the numbers? And they would go, yep, that's what we're showing. Yep, that's what we're showing. Done deal. We would then wire them $150 and we would then ship certificates to them and they would send certificates to us via courier through Brinks. Unbelievable. Those days are gone. It's all electronic now. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Bruce is the one taking care of stuff around the house guy. Anyway, there you going. Raise your hand if you're going to be in the class this weekend. Happy birthday, Brent, to sing. I've paid, but I haven't got confirmation yet. You should have a PayPal confirmation, I would think. That should be automatic. You should have a PayPal confirmation. If you did get that, that should be it. But you will get a confirmation. Well, you will get a link from us for sure. Let's see. Mr. Burns was checking his stocks via telegraph ticker on The Simpsons, laughing out loud. I like the idea of trading stock from a boat, like the Bruce cruise, right? Anyone remember the telex machines from the 70s and the 80s? Yeah, funny. The guy handling your money is called a broker. Excellent. I'm here, says Christopher King. Welcome. If it's so easy, something is wrong. NTP seen soon. We will be in a Millionaires Club. Hey, Bruce, can you explain the difference between buying a call or selling a put? Same thing with selling a call and buying a put, when it would benefit to do one versus the other. We'll be doing this in the classes. We'll get into the classes on this. Congratulations to IBM call buyers. How are we doing on IBM here? Up 79 to 141.54. High of the day on IBM so far, 141.82. Very good. And I think you might see even higher upside. So way to go, you guys. We've got a 346-point gain on the Dow right now. Looks like near the high of the day. Up 29 on S&P, up 28 on NASDAQ. Very good day on the big markets. 1685 now on SOFI. Just took a shot higher in the last 2 minutes. 1685 up 23 cents. This is about the high of the day, 1692, just a second ago. GameStop down 284. ATI Physical Therapy 840 down 9 cents. AMC down 44 cents to 47.50. Gore's down 19 cents to 14.70. 23andMe down 2 cents. Fifth Wall down 20. Vector up 11. Navsite down 1. Starboard up 3. That's what we got right now. 348-point gain on the Dow. To 1686 on SoFi. That is taking a shot here. Happy to see that. Let's go. Yeah, technology is moving faster and faster. Internet, cell phones, self-driving cars, self-landing spaceships, and on instead of cases. It's only a few years now. It's been incredible. The changes in the brokerage business from when I began. I was joining in 79, 80. We were still doing things the way we did in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s. But within a decade, the brokerage business really turned around and went super high tech, like banking did, like insurance did, like everything did. It started to go digital, and and it got a lot quicker. The quote machines, we had now full-blown computers on our desks in the 90s. And then, of course, the upgrades kept coming and coming and coming with the servers and everything else. 1696 on SOFI. Now we're up 34 cents. My dad was in the telecom business in the 70s and the 80s. He designed OTB systems, and it was like early DraftKings betting systems. Wow. Off-track betting systems. So they don't need payment for order flow to do commission-free trading. SOFI is coming on. Instead of decades, it's now years. In the 90s, the company I worked for was going from telex to email by edict of the CEO. Every message had to print on the department printer like a telex message. 1694 on SOFI. How did the commission work if you were just a retail guy that might have only had a few grand? Would the commission fee be factored into the stock price from the retail buyer perspective? No, it was added on. So if you bought $2,000 worth of stock, 100 shares at $2, it was a $60 commission on top of that. So it cost you $2,060 to buy 100 shares at $2. You sold them at $210. You got $2,100 less $63 in fees. You lost money. You paid $123 in commission, only made $100. You needed $212, $213 to break even. That's how much you needed. You need the stock to go up 6% to break even. That's why there was no day trading like we have now. 187.51 on IBM. Holy crap, he did the voice, AB. Excellent. Release the hounds. I love Mr. Burns. Come on, SOFI. Let's go to 18. 1694, up 34 cents on SOFI. Have you seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix? Don't think so. I love hearing about the transformation. Where am I here? I love hearing about the transformation of tech from older generations. Grandma was born in 28, lived through the Depression as a child, went from horse-drawn carts to on dirt roads, and she's still here today. Incredible, isn't it? I don't trust cats. John Van, my thoughts are GameStop in this video game shop that is restructuring itself as the world's gaming center and West East Coast warehouses and possibly the new Toys R Us. Well, we'll see. Let's see. There was talk about closing the patent office in 1900 because everything had been invented. There was nothing left to invent anymore. I read a book, that Flash Boys, about how technology opened how technology opened door for exploiting the system through HFT. Crazy how they coiled miles of cable to ensure all trades came in at the same time. Free thinker McJones Smithers. B Fitz, Bruce, is it better to average down on a call or buy a new one lower? I.e., I have $25 SOFI calls. I have 25 SOFI calls for $470, which are now $245. Or I can buy 15s or 1750s for $480 or $390. There you go. Well, buying 1750s is a good idea, definitely, because they would react. If you can buy 15s for $480, that's instantly, or 1750s for $390, they will react a lot quicker. Of course, the 15s, the key to the 15s is the stock goes up $1 from here, the 15s will likely go up about 75, 80 cents. The 1750s might only go up 60 cents, and the 20 which one you got? The 20, are they 25s or whatever you got, might only go up 40 cents a piece for every dollar. So $15 calls, exercise calls, will react a lot quicker right now, and that will add to your value. But you got to pay more to get it. Commissions were insane back in the day. I remember we used to charge 3%, then it went to 3.3. We had a 10% surcharge because it cost us more money to be in business. We would also charge 3.3 on any order under $5,000, 3% on any order between $5,000 and $10,000. Over $10,000, we would charge 1.5%, half the 3% rate, because we were saying to the customers, give us a $15,000 order, we'll charge you $225 for that transaction. We want your business, but we want this business. We don't want the small stuff. We like to see some movement. If you were an active trader and you would sell a position, let's say you bought say 5,000 shares at $2, a 10 grand order. whatever we charged you in commission for that order, if you sold the stock, say at $250 a week later, you made $2,500 in profit. You want it out, we would only charge you half on the way out if you did the order within 30 days. So if you bought and sold within a 30-day window, we'd charge you 100% on the way in and 50% on the way out. Because the thinking was in the house, we would encourage the sell, which would re-encourage a new buy into something else. And that's what would happen. The customer would say, okay, I want to sell out for $12,500. I know I'll probably clear about $2,300 on this deal, or $2,200. I now want to take my $12,000 and buy 12 grand of that. And now we charge them full commission on that deal. So that was common as well. Brokers, we loved it. If I had a client who would say to me, I want to make a couple of trades, I'd be going, because the broker was getting about 1/3 to 40% of the commissions. So if you generated to me $200 in commissions today, I would get about $60 to $80 payable from your business. Now, if I had 10 clients that each gave me $200 in commissions today, that would be $2,000 gross. I would get a $600 payday to an $800 payday. And on many firms, the way the firms generated the payouts to their brokers, they would say to the broker, if you do under $10,000 gross, you get 1/3 of the commission. You get 1/3 of the commission that you generate. If you do more than $10,000 in gross commissions, 10 to 20,000, you'll get say 35%, or 36%. Over 20,000, we'll pay you 40, and over 30,000, we'll give you 50 on all of it. All of it. Some will only pay the increase on the increased amount. So the first 10%, 10,000, you only got 1/3. After 10,000 gross, you'd get the 40%, and after 20,000 gross, you get the 50%. Other firms just had a flat 40 no matter what you did. And so brokers would shop around to which brokerage firm they'd want to go to. As a manager, if I was trying to steal a top producer, broker that's generating 20 grand, 30 grand a month in gross commissions, I would offer them a deal. I'd say, look, you happy where you are? Well, I'm okay, but I'm not thrilled. Would you consider coming over to our house? I'll make you a deal. Well, what kind of deal do you have in mind? How about this? How about for the first year or the first 90 days that you come over? As soon as you're licensed and that's been transferred over, the 90-day meter starts, and we will fast track in your orders. We'll fast track in your accounts. We'll let you start trading with your accounts, even though the product isn't here yet. The stock is coming. We'll let you trade anyway because we'll get it sorted out in the end. We'll give you a 80% payout on your commissions for the first 90 days that you do business here. And then for the next 9 months, for the next 9 months for the first year, we'll give you a 50% guaranteed payout, and then you're on the regular payout after that, which might be 40% or 45% anyway. The guy compares that to what he's got, and he's going, I'm only getting 1/3, I'm only getting 40% total. This house, they're offering me this big fat bonus, they're offering me this 1-year big time payout, and I can do the business I want to do here. These guys would walk, and they would go over to the other firm, grab all the accounts they could with them, and start trading like crazy. Those first 3 months, these guys would trade like drunken sailors. And of course, the new firm would grab the new guy and then would use the new hire as a lure to get other brokers to come in, because this firm is on its way up. We're growing, we're dramatic, we're open for business. We want your clients to come in here. This is a happening house. We're going to do deals, whatever. We would try to hire an all-star as a loss leader to then bring in 25 guys behind him, or 5 guys, or 3 guys, or whatever. So that deal would go on. And then there were deals where we'd go after a broker, and we'd say to the guy, here's the deal. Here's your package. Now here's the deal on anyone you bring in with you in the next 3 months. You convince every guy you can from that firm to join us as well, or any other firm to join us. We'll give you a 10% override on their production as a bonus. And these hitters would come in, and they would sit down and would just start writing all kinds of business immediately, bring in 5 buddies of theirs. And this one broker would have made maybe $100,000 at the firm he was at. And he's at the new firm, and he's making $200,000 for the first year at the new house because of the overrides and his upscale numbers and everything else. That was the cutthroat business of the market. And we would hear stories about, did you hear about house number 1? They stole 5 guys from house number 2. Oh, did you hear about house number 4? They just stole 2 guys here, 2 guys here, and 2 guys here. They just added 6 guys to the debt. It's usually all men at that time. This is 70. Wild and wacky. I found that I couldn't compete with the big boys. I couldn't compete and steal brokers. But what I could do is I could hire new up and comers, and I took on rookies that had real potential and also had no skeletons in their closets. And I would work with newbies and train them up and in the way we wanted. And we would find that they would do good, clean, honest business. The clients paid on time. We didn't have any debt collection problems, unlike these hot shot guys who had all kinds of nightmares, all kinds of sellouts, margin call problems, ethical trading practice problems, complaints from customers. I avoided these guys. I would hire brand new, train them up. So we would take the time to do it, but when they did do business, it was good, clean, honest money with no refunds required, no legals required, no nightmares required. Amazing business, really amazing business. But what can I say? Bruce, you must watch it. You will appreciate it. GameStop has started selling arcade machines on their site. Right on. Jen, what is happening today?
Well, it's like breakfast time.
I think you're right. I'm kind of hungry myself.
And just to mix it up.
Mix it up.
On the menu today, you also have rye bread with liverwurst.
Oh, but I also have bagels.
You also have bagels. Yesterday,
went to the grocery store. I bought this loaf of German rye. Dark.
The skinny pumpernickel.
Thick. It's not a light bread. It's a serious bread. Bought this bread, and it's perfect for toasting up and putting on some butter and putting on a smear of liver sausage. Now, you guys, if I'm freaking you out, I apologize. Being of German heritage, it's so dang tasty, but
so good.
But I'm actually thinking today for the bagel.
Okay.
I'm thinking cheese whiz today, actually. Yeah, instead of that.
On a sesame bagel.
Please, yeah. So that's where my head is at today. But oh yeah, having a toasted bagel with liverwurst on it, with the herb and garlic in there. Oh my God. What you do though is you get your wife and or your girlfriend to eat it at the same time you do. That way you can keep smooching and it's okay. Bill, SEC end of August, beginning of September, rules go into effect that will expose short sales. Basically tracks every stock going forward. It's very detailed. This would be good news. I'd like to hear this. Nick, I'd be willing to pay a fat commission today for a fairer market. Free thinker, after I take over the Olympus estates, I'll have enough money to make Warren Buffett hunt Richard Branson for sport, Mr. Burns' actual quote. VACQ going up, but options price not changing. 1683 on SOFI, up 21 cents. GameStop 188.49 down 289. ATIP up again 853 up 4. AMC up 2 cents 47.96. That was up 370 points. We got Gores down 22 at 14.67. We have ME unchanged 10.83. Fifth Wall down only a dime now. Vector up 22 cents to 11.36. Navsite down 2. Starboard up 2. IBM up 48 to 141.22, and the Dow's up 366. S&P up 32, NASDAQ up 49. Record high for S&P and NASDAQ. The Dow now is 300 and something away from a record high. We might set it today if this trend continues on. Most interesting how this market is going. When stock price goes up, options don't. Understand something about options. It's possible that the reason someone is telling us that the options aren't going up is because of several factors. One is if the options are not active traded options. In other words, they don't trade every 10 minutes all day long. They trade maybe once a day, 5 times a day, hours between trades, sometimes days between trades. You'll see a last trade of, say, $4, but the market is 320 to 330. That's because the trade was hours ago, days ago, and the stock has dropped, and the new options price is current. That can be a reasoning why this is happening. You have to be careful with that. SOFI was flirting with 1683 right now. Implied volatility. GameStop testing downward pressure resistance. 189.50 on GameStop, though. I think we're going higher. Happy birthday to from Kev to Anti-PC. Mr. Joshua, I think we booked the algorithms I bought and it did not dive. Auntie, thank you, Kev Lane. Happy birthday to you too. Triplets in here today. We got birthday people around here today. Sam is going, what's up, Auntie? Yes, Julie, they should. I was complaining it wasn't going up. Let's see. Good morning, Jen. Stop it, Bruce, says Auntie. Happy birthday, free thinker. Leberwurst. Oh, I love Leberwurst. Island Girl Rye and Leberwurst are my favorite. Needs mustard. My husband's family called liverwurst dog food. Herb, nothing wrong with liverwurst on pumpernickel. Liverwurst is so good. Why don't you buy real cheese? Brad, I grew up on open-faced liverwurst, pumpernickel, and mustard sandwiches. I have the German heritage too, Uncle Bruce. Brad, rye bread episodes. Seinfeld, that's right, the marble rye. Did he say cheese whiz? T-Bone, hey, Uncle B, way back in the day, would have been possible for brokers to write covered calls against their clients' accounts without their knowledge. No, not oh gosh, no. That would have been no. Because back in the day, after you did the trade for your client, the next morning, the back office would send out an invoice for each trade done in your account. So in your mailbox, you would receive a few days in the mail, in your mailbox, letters from your broker, and you'd open up the envelope, and it would be a confirmation of your trade. Now, if you did 5 trades today, the brokers were on the ball in the back office. They were on top of it. They would gather up all the trades from your account and put them all in one envelope, not send you 5 envelopes. Then you would get a month-end statement showing all your transactions. That would all come out, and those would come out on a printout of some kind from our computers back in the 70s and the 80s. And then you could check your accounts. Yeah, that's when the anomalies would show up. Matt, it seems the SPACs that have merged have a good price run for about 2 to 5 days, then they fall back. Should we be selling our options in the first couple of days and buy back? No, Matt, you are overreading it. Don't be thinking that you've got this figured out. You haven't got this figured out. You think you know what you think you know, but you don't know what you don't know. Don't be playing games. No. You get in, you stay in, and you just sit there. Don't be playing no games here. Okay, there's an episode of Seinfeld for every life situation. It's like a triple witching hour for birthdays here today, says Coyote. Roar, the hedgies run for their lives. Oh, yeah, we broke it. Poised to test 191 again. 189.52 on GameStop right now. Happy birthday, Alabama gal. Welcome, Bama babe. How you doing? Dave, I grew up on the New York system wieners all the way with coffee, milk. This is the way. Liverwurst and goulash at grandma's. Oh, man, if you know, you know. Liverwurst, onion, spicy mustard. Oh, man, I can't believe Jerry Seinfeld mugged an old lady for a piece of rye bread. It was a pretend show. It was pretend. It wasn't real. Give me that rye, you old bag. Oh my God, I have a twin. Shrinkage, it shrinks like a turtle. Oh, you guys are weird. Joshua Bruce, what you know about that cheese whiz? Ever had a Philly cheese steak with whiz? Oh my gosh, we love them all. Island Girl had a kitchen faucet leak a few nights ago, leaked into my basement through the ceiling under the carpet. Thank God for insurance. Yeah, and this is why Fifth Wall will do, the stock will do well, because Fifth Wall is being taken over by Smart Rent, which would have detected this and cut your water off. That is the Smart Rent system. Pretty interesting. Hi, T-Bone. We're in the same club. Dave, Philly cheesesteak with cream cheese. Kev Lane, Uncle Bruce, sorry for the way to personal lunch question yesterday. We should really just stick to stocks and polygamy. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we when we talked about polygamy, it was like it was a no-brainer on this channel. Everything was just fine. People went, oh, polygamy. Oh, I have a thought on that. Oh, well, let's talk about that for 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, this channel. Richard, we called coffee milk a large Arizona in my younger days, along with 6 Weinberg, all the way yum. Anti-PC, thank you, Bama babe. Long time no see. Free thinker, Bruce. How could a security be shorted 140, 222% without some form of synthetic share being present? I mean, come on. How is that possible? Seinfeld was real to me. Damn it. It was real. That marble ride was real. Weenie, says Richard. Busy with grandbabies the week of the 4th. Oh, my. Here we have the cheese whiz on toasted bagel. There you go. And we got a refresher cola. Thank you, Jen, so much. We are ready to rock and roll here. Oh, what can the stocks do today? Will they go higher? They should go higher, don't you think? After all, what can I say? We got SOFI at 1672 up a dime. We have GameStop at 189, 190.20. We just popped up to 190.20, down 118 right now on GameStop. ATIP 853 up 4 cents. AMC down 41 cents. Gore's down 24 cents. ME down a dime. Fifth Wall down a dime. Vector up 18. Oh my. The Dow is up 386. We got S&P up 33. Got NASDAQ up 40. Oil up $1.46 a barrel. Mike Sullivan says, Bruce, I have been absorbing your knowledge for months like a sponge. You, sir, are sponge worthy. Thank you very much. That is high praise indeed to be sponge worthy. Yes. Has anyone had any experience with REITs? Spoke to a guy from Diversified REIT yesterday. Their claimed returns seem improbable. REITs, it all depends on the business they're in. Real estate REITs, commercial real estate REITs, the last little while, not good. Oh, we got us a cheese whiz bagel here. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, sesame seeds. You toast them up just right. So good.
What were our Canadian REITs doing though? Weren't they giving like a 6-7% return?
When times were good.
Yeah, before COVID.
When they had there were REITs involved, also in the energy business, but that's all been shut down by the defense. The finance department basically shut them all off.
Well, we're going to have to see what the occupancy levels look like.
Oh, yeah. Pardon me, folks. Having a bite.
Cheese.
Coyote. That was so funny yesterday. I left to let my dogs out for 5 minutes for a walk. Everyone, come back. Everyone talking stocks. I returned in the midst of polygamy in plain English. Unbelievable. I'm asking Jen how many husbands she should have, on what they should do. It was crazy. Bagel. 191, we're testing. 190.35. High today, 191.50 on GameStop. We're coming on.
Well, it's Friday. People are getting back into the regular routines again after the weekend. Getting ready for a new weekend.
Diet caffeine-free Coke in the AM, just like my childhood. NTPC, that's the price of life at Bama Babe. Island Girl, cheese whiz on white with mustard was a regular in my lunchbox when I was in school a long time ago with mustard. That's something with the mustard. Interesting. I always thought S&P stood for Standard & Poor's. After all these years, they find out it's stocks and polygamy. Bought some more SOFI, ATIP, MU. Let's make money. Sponge-worthy Elaine Bennis. Bama Babe, 8 different spices. It's a lot, however. John, cheese whiz. I can hear your arteries hardening from here. Erico, I sure hope they don't put out any good news. That always seems to tank it. Well, we're at 191 on GameStop, down 31 cents right now. Just down 38 cents. What is going to happen here? We're up 395 on the Dow, going for a record. We might hit the record today. I don't know. We are now at 191.01 on GameStop. 1677 SoFi up 15 cents. ATIP up 8 cents. The food we ate in our 60s and 70s are not so healthy. Mike Sullivan, Bama Babe, holy cow, Coyotes, can't believe that was good. Laughing at that one. Brucey, you might like the comedy TV show Silicon Valley. There's a scene where a mega billionaire stares at sesame seeds for days. You'd like that part. Polygamy is more fun than polygamy and not illegal. GameStop on the move, 191.04. I remember as a child eating liverwurst on a bagel in front of my Apple IIe computer playing Frogger in Bulgaria. GameStop, LFG. Bama Babe, wow, I'll have a lot. You had your hands full. Oh, man. 190.65 on GameStop. 16.78 on SOFI. We got a bagel going. Oh. The Dow up 402. Woohoo! The Dow is positive for the week. Bruce, when you guys were younger, did you ever go to house parties, like parties where everyone put keys in a bowl?
No.
No. Jen is not impressed. Oh, man. I was listening to some presentation on SOFI. I'm a fan of Mr. Noto. I think he has a clear vision to make SOFI the big winner of the transition to digital finance. 1683 up 21 cents. They're on the right track, I think. Headline, U.S. wholesale inventories surge in May as businesses rush to keep up with strong sales. There you go. Sounds like we're in for a fun weekend. Let's see here. Let's see how he had to look at Jen to get permission to answer that question. Keys in a bowl, a party. I thought that was only in the movies. She didn't give permission. I agree. That was only Jen is saying that was only in the movies. I agree. But look, polyamory is better. Being married, I'm not big on marriage. That said, it is still illegal in a lot of places to do anything but missionary. Really weird. Oh man, have you ever gone to a party where they put your phones in a bowl? That was a hesitant laugh. No laughing out loud. Oh man, do you think the market needs another mashup video? I don't know, man. Anyone put keys in a bowl because they were responsible drinkers? The Dow is now positive for the week with a 400-point gain, apparently. Although right now it's up 376. So interesting. 1687 on your SOFI, up 25 cents. ATIP up 13 cents to 862. What kind of chance would you do back in the day to make a stock go up? I need something to coax ATIP out of its shell. It's going higher. 863 right now. High of the day. 73,000 shares. Your stock's going up. Oh, man. Joe Noto attended West Point, where he was an academic All-American linebacker. He earned those honors in his junior, senior seasons with torn ligaments in both knees. Guy's tough. Wow. Okay. 1683 on SOFI. 190.07 on GameStop. Okay. Oh boy, the bagel is good. Gores is coming on. Only down 4 cents now. Okay. IBM right now, 141.35, up 61 cents on IBM. High today, 141.62, 82. Go IBM, go. Yep, ATIP, 864 now, up 15 cents. High of the day right now on your ATIP on very little volume. No news. No one saying anything at this point, but the stock is recovering a bit. We'll take that. Bring it on, baby. Bring it. Bring it. Alrighty. Look at ATIP. So cute with 10% gains. We're getting ready. We're lining her up. Oh boy. That's awesome. Thank you for your patience today. 1690 on SOFI. Oh, I can see your comments. Oh, I can see them. I might just not choose to show them all. Bama Babe, I picked up more ATIP when it was under 8. Well done. 860 now. Well done. We can see you, Aaron. New members watching Bruce eat like I gotta pay for that. I mean, I remember saying I get to pay for that. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about doing a live show for 3 straight hours, and when you get up at 3 a.m. and you have a little bite to eat before you start. A couple hours into the show, you are dying. You are just dying. Can't go straight 3 without something. No worries, my man. None whatsoever. 1684 on SoFi, 190.48 on GameStop. ATIP up 11. We're mixed everywhere else. We're up and down and up and down and flat. Up 67 cents on IBM. Dow is up 399.78, taking another shot higher. Very good. Very, very good, everybody. Thank you all for being here with me today as we're watching these markets. Definitely improve over yesterday. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. I was listening to an interview yesterday that was being conducted with it was on the Canadian Business Channel, so most of you probably didn't get this, although it wouldn't have been on Bloomberg. The interviewer had a guest on that she had on in the past, so they were very comfortable having a very frank discussion on the air, and the discussion was about the electrification of the world, and in particular in Canada. In this case, it was Canada, because the government of Canada is trying to convince the population here that the future of this country has to be electric. We have got to get away from fossil fuels. Although Canada has some of the most gigantic reserves of oil in the world, the future cannot be burning this stuff. Yeah, oil will always be necessary for machinery and for additives and all kinds of reasons, obviously, but not just to burn into a car and off you go. And so the future is electric for home power, car, vehicle transportation, and many other reasons. But what I found interesting that this gentleman, is a professor, was saying that only 15% of all homes in Canada are actually powered by electricity for heat. 85% of homes and businesses in Canada are actually heated. The heat is generated by burning home heating fuel, home heating oil, and natural gas, not from electrical. And the trend has been to electric. Oh yeah, that the area, that's the direction it's going. But only 15%. And that in order for the country to become fully electrified, and then he was mentioning the United States in the same breath, that for the United States and Canada to really go electric, he said this will require an investment of numbers that no one is talking about. No politician will dare say the number because it is an unthinkable amount of money. It doesn't get done in 30 days, though. It will take maybe a decade or two to do, but it would require the kind of a budget that a war would require, a massive, massive commitment to do it. But he was saying that the planet really hasn't got any choice. I mean, you either do it or this planet will really get really bad. But he was talking about stuff like, one, you need to produce more electricity. That's the first thing, obviously. You're going to have to produce by sixfold how much you're producing now, minimum. Then you have to improve the efficiency of transmitting it. And he was saying stuff like, you go up and down most streets in most communities, he says in Canada in particular, you look at the power poles in most communities in Canada. The neighborhoods where they don't have electric heating in homes, where they just have natural gas coming in or home heating oil, you have to redo every power pole in these neighborhoods because the amount of lines that these have to handle, and the tension and the actual wattage that these lines have, you need specific equipment to handle all this with transformers and everything else. He said the build out on this will be massive and cannot be done overnight. It will require specialized crews, hundreds of thousands of employees for years to redo all this. I said, you've got to understand that, many farms, a mile from the road need power right to the house. The cottage country, towns and cities everywhere, it's incredible the upgrade that will need to be done. And while you're doing it, in many cases, you may as well put your lines underground to avoid the snowfall problem, weather problem, a truck hitting a power pole, cutting off a neighborhood. You might as well put the lines as much as you can underground if you can do it. Again, the investment is unthinkably huge. And he was talking about how just converting homes to electric is one thing, let alone now vehicles. And people want to charge their vehicles at home. That's another problem. It's not a problem if one neighbor gets a Tesla in their home, in the block, but if every home on the block has electric vehicles that are being charged every night or during the day, this puts a strain on an existing system that just can't cope. And he was also pointing at the United States, going, the United States' own power grid is as fragile as it can be. We've already seen instances with not only the weather causing havoc, say in Texas, but in the New York area, the Northeast U.S. and Canada being interconnected. One brownout can lead to millions of people being shut off for electricity. This system is so antiquated and so rickety. It is being held together by duct tape, and it is a serious issue to worry about going forward. And I thought, fascinating chat. Geez, that's fascinating. You don't hear that kind of frank, free-thinking talk very often, but it really makes one wonder just what will happen here when, if we adopt this idea and notion that yes, we are going to go with an electrical future. Homes will consider solar panels as a much more normal thing with tax incentives. We will have battery walls in our garages. We will maybe have battery stations in neighborhoods, especially new neighborhoods being created, where a new neighborhood will go up, a new subdivision, and in one area of the subdivision will be a walled off area that will be the battery storage area for the neighborhood. And all the solar panels in that neighborhood will all feed into that battery system, and then from it to each house as it requires power. And every house will be smart adapted with smart rent technology to regulate the amount of electricity used, when, and how, and people aren't home, so your home's temperatures will go higher, and the curtains will be drawn, and the fans will kick in maybe half an hour before people come home. The homes will start to get cooled off with the fans going. With the home will be ready when you get there, and the ability to transform it all. But the cost to set this all up from scratch is phenomenal. The technology exists, but the build out, and if you can build out something like this in a very high volume way, you can make it affordable on a per house basis, but it will require the national governments to fund it. And that is where the battle will rage, because there will be the deniers, there will be the anti-taxers, there'll be the environmentalists, there'll be the folks in the middle of it all, the middle of the extremes on one end or the other, trying to put this through. But this gentleman was saying this isn't political. This is survival of the species on the planet. And I thought, whoa, that's serious talk. The threat to mankind isn't that we're going to nuke ourselves to oblivion as we thought in the 50s and the 60s. The threat to mankind is being able to survive very violent weather changes from one to the other. And just in Canada 2 weeks ago, Canadians were shocked to find that in Western Canada, where I am, with the heat wave we had, even here in Creston, we were at 105 degrees, which is 15 degrees above anywhere near normal. But in Vancouver and in Victoria and in other cities in Western Canada, they were reporting deaths from, we thought that there would be deaths of homeless people. We thought those homeless who were caught in this unbearable heat would faint and pass out and expire. We found out, yeah, that happened, but shockingly, how many other people died in their homes because their homes are not equipped with air conditioning, and they figured a fan was good enough, and it wasn't. And there were so many preventable passings of people of this, and it was something 800. It was a huge number of people, and the experts are saying, you have seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning of what's going to get worse and worse and worse.
And all the marine life that got cooked.
The marine life that got cooked in the Pacific, at shore and so on. It's still being tallied up how bad it was, and we haven't seen anything yet. We're not even into full-blown summer this year, and then next year and the year after. And even if we can reverse global warming or reverse carbon emissions to zero right now, it'll take 30 years for the planet to recover from it. It's just shocking. Anyway, it was a most interesting discussion. I wish I'd heard more of it, and I encourage that kind of chat, because this gentleman is he's a scientific expert. He says, this is what I study, and electricity is There's ways to produce electricity in a bad way by burning fossil fuels. There's a good way of producing electricity. Hydro is definitely one of those. Solar and wind is definitely another. Nuclear, believe it or not, if you do it the way the French are doing it, is better than not. But you got to buy into the program, people. Everyone has to buy in. And he was saying this is what skeptics are worried about, that the environmentalists have got their objective. They know what has to be done. The problem is to get people to commit to it in positions of power, and not make it a political issue, and it's just a very difficult thing to worry about. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting chat, and where you have it. We're now 856 on ATIP, 1674 on SOFI, 189.78 on GameStop. IBM is up yet. My 155 calls for Norma are down around 10%. Why the face? That's because you're out of the money. You're so far out of the money that you're not going to get an instant reaction with a $2 move on your stock. It's not enough for you. You need $10 move on your stock because you are too far out on your contract. That is the price you are paying now regarding your movement on your contract. You are too far out of the money. You didn't want to pay up to get your contract closer to the money. Now you're paying that price. You need upward movement. Let's see. Happy birthday to all our bagel babies today. ATIP needs to bounce up to 9, so it'll trigger my sell order. Want to pick up more SOFI and Gores. ME on the move again. There's oil plants and animals. We don't need to drill the earth for oil forever. Electric heat in Canada is way too expensive, and there's the problem. We have to produce more of it at scale, economic scale. I agree. Good morning, all you beautiful people from Deanna. Welcome. Let's see what happens here. I hear you. There's certain things that work. Not fixing the CO2 problem will cost much more. Insulation is key too. That's right. And see, another trick would be here in Canada, you can buy homes and you can install in your homes a system where you get geothermal heat, and you have this. You take your front yard or your backyard, and you dig a trench that's about 4 inches wide and about 2 feet down. And you dig this all the way around your house, a whole long way. It's a snaky, windy thing, and you put a pipe in there. It's a pliable pipe, maybe 2 inches diameter, filled with a glycol material, a liquid, and it's non-corrosive, and it flows through this pipe for 100 years. And you have the pump at the one end pumping through, and what happens is that the glycol comes out of the house and goes through the pipe all the way under the ground after you cover it back up again. And the temperature under the ground at this level, 2 feet, will be about 55 degrees constant temperature. So in the summertime, you have this cool glycol coming to your home into a heat exchanger. And the glycol flows through, I think, a bunch of copper piping, and it's like a circular thing. It just goes through it. So the pipe is 55 degrees. This copper tubing is 55 degrees, and it is inside a heat exchanger where air flows over it, through it, and makes the air 55 degrees. And that temperature of air goes into a fan system into your house, and it air conditions your home. There's the trick of it. And how much you allow in through each vent will determine the temperature in the room as the day warms up. So the cool air comes through the floors, might even run through piping under your floor, and the floor is cool, and that radiates, so that coolness keeps the floor cool, keeps the room cooler. You'll have some forced air as well. In the wintertime, it's the reverse. You have 55 degree glycol coming through when it's 30 below outside, and that is coming through a heat exchanger. And that, coupled with additional heat from some electrical sources, will warm up the air enough to keep the house at 55 to 65, 70 degrees in the wintertime, along with sunshine coming in. There you go. There are of course, heat systems in Canada in other northern climates where you have black boxes, these black containers that are in the sunshine on purpose, that are filled with again, piping with glycol in it, and the sun shines on this black unit, heating it up, and it heats up the glycol to like 100 degrees, and that gets flowed through the floor, again, through piping in your floor to warm your floor, which warms up your whole room and house. Incredible technology, but you need electricity to operate it because you have to have power to move all this stuff. And that's another way of having electric heat without actually using radiators. It's another method. It's a high-tech way to go. Electric heat is expensive because insulation tech is crap. Another takeaway from the presentation, I watched Chalmers has invested his personal money in SOFI, and according to him, it's one of his largest positions ever. Mr. Seneca, everyone I know sees a physical therapy. Laugh out loud. I will keep someone long haul for ATIP. ATIP is now 8.55, up 6 cents. Oh, SOFI is going to fly so high. I need to keep scooping it up. John Van, 526 thumbs ups. Let's go thumbs ups for the Green family. Fresh and free. Uncle Bruce, I talked to a guy at a bar about an electric car. He said in all seriousness, I drive a diesel because the emissions come back down in the rain and go back into the ground as oil. I just drank. Oh, gosh. James say, don't trust Chalmers after he bailed on space. Plus, Wall Street doesn't like him. What he says with a grain of salt. James Salt. Far Lomos. Yes, to upgrade every house to just be electric only is in the trillions. It is just not worth it, especially with the premium and workers and materials that would be required. We can't afford the alternative. We cannot continue down the path we're at. It will cost us everything. We make changes not because they're easy, but because they are hard. When GameStop moons, we will own a Tesla. My 1988 Corolla is held together by duct tape, Bruce. I believe it. Apologists will take it up and kick the can down the road, unfortunately. Barkeep, I'd like to buy a round of drinks for the Bagel Bunch. John Van, yeah, thank you very much, U.S. government, past 50 plus years. Mike, batteries are getting better and better. I follow some of the solid state tech. Yeah, I think that, this solution to this problem will be ultimately, I think, private enterprise solved. There will be systems created and available for installation through private enterprise. And the hope is that with volume production of said systems, costs will drop, government incentives will kick in to bring it on, and we will adapt, and hopefully that'll be fast enough, but I don't know. Mr. Seneca, Bama Babe, that's why I'll keep a small cadre of shares as a whole. I've not seen great things from these medical clinics that have gone public. Was happy to have made money on Cano merger earlier than out. Free thinker, we have solar panels. I don't understand why everyone does not. I do not have an electrical bill. How much does everyone here pay for electric? There you go. The science is clear to me, Bruce. It's said that every house in an urban area the size of Atlanta could be heated using just 5% of the hot air that Jim Cramer is full of. How about that? Go, ME, go. And a high yield harvest of fertilized crops using the other stuff he's full of. Atlantic, thanks, INTPC. I have to gin and tonic with lime. Happy birthday. Anyway, let's see, $150 a month electric bill for me here, but I live in New Orleans, a lot of air conditioning running 24/7. Krista, free thinker, what was the upfront payment? No electric bill. Let's see, I feel the same on ATIP. That's why I'm all about cold fusion, Bruce. Have a small reactor in my home. Wait, scratch that. Nothing to see here. I got nothing here. ME taking a shot. We got 1073. It is taking a shot. It's up time right at the moment. ATIP up 6 cents, SOFI up 14. The grandkids will pay dollars for all of this. Let's see. Yep. Interesting about the poor infrastructure with the grid. In the 50s, we were worried about nukes because in the 30s and 40s, there was massive spending to build up this infrastructure, neglected since. Yep. Let's see. 276,000 volume on ME. Let's see. Yeah, here I left Okanagan area, British Columbia in 06. I don't miss all the smoke from forest fires every summer. That's the problem here in BC. It's just in obviously Saskatchewan, but Alberta mainly, but Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, forest fires. Bad, getting worse. California, bad and getting worse. Oh my gosh, yeah. Even conservative Bill O'Reilly says, so what if we spread all this money on green stuff? Less pollution, we know it's bad, whether climate change is real or not. What can I say? I can't wait till ME volume is 5 million a day. I can't wait for those 5 million volume days. Guy, the issue isn't over who, what caused it. It's not aggravating a natural warming cycle. Let's see. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's see. A free thinker says, no upfront payment. They install and collect monthly payments towards the debt, and National Grid pays out for the extra juice we produce on our solar panels. They also take that till they're paid up. We paid them off 2 years ago. Fantastic. Farlomus. Nuclear is the key. If we threw all our resources at cold fusion, we would have nearly infinite energy for our demands here and on other planets. California had 3 days of rain this past winter. Drought is real. Water will be worth more than gold. Heat pumps will handle all but the most extreme of temperatures. Visceral Records Live, which is why Nestle tries so hard to privatize water in California. It's worth so much money. I would like to build my house on the side of a hill or build up the earth around it as much as possible. Regulates the temperature naturally. Mr. Seneca, good money. Yeah, I'm not super positive on ATIP, but I'll hold a bit of it just in case. Bruce, I think it's time for some Yoko, please. Jim, P, that is technically solar heat as the ground at that level is heated by the sun. Geothermal is deeper, more like a well. Both are good, though. 1674 up 12 cents on SOFI. 189, 188.87, 189 or so on GameStop. ATIP, 857 up 8 cents. Gores down 16. 23andMe up 9. Fifth Wall down 1 penny. VACQ up 8. NavSite down a penny. Starboard up down a penny. IBM right now up 41 cents to 141.15. That's what we got. The Dow up 384. S&P up 36. NASDAQ up 84 cents. 84 points right now. So there you go. Who lays that pipe, Bruce? I'm not sure. Excuse me. My cousin was into a home building, and it was, I believe, from what I can remember him telling me, there are literally companies that specialize in this geothermal work, and they bring out the equipment. It's perfect for brand new homes in subdivisions because you can dig up the lot the way you see fit. And if you build a subdivision right, every home has it as part of the system. And so by the time you put the the fill on top of the raw land, and you then put your lawn down or your hedges, this pipe is already deep under the ground. But you make sure that you don't put a tree anywhere near it, because the roots of the tree will mess up. As the roots go down and down, they'll mess those up. But there are the plans would be for subdivisions to be done all in one shot at the same time for every home in the complex. This will greatly reduce the price per house to have a contractor get a bid for, okay, let's do 150 homes at a time. Let's make this contract. So this contractor can bring a crew of guys and get this job done in days, get a lot of the digging done and get the pipe laid in. And, in weeks, it's all set up with the homes and so on. You do it as a coordinated, deal. Anyway, there you have it. Those of us who are old enough, we remember, and it depends on where you are in the country, of course. We have basements in certain parts of the country, and certain areas of the country we don't. And, living in California, we didn't have a basement in the condos that we were renting on the golf course that we lived in. We didn't have a basement. And so the entire condo was on a, kind of a concrete foundation. Heat. Of course, to remember and to be fair, where we were building, where those condos were built was in the desert, and we were on top of sand. So certain geographical areas you can do this easily. Certain geographical areas it doesn't really make sense. Obviously, if you're building a home on a rock, you're not going to be able to do geothermal either. Obviously, so around and around it goes. But I remember in Palm Desert, in the springtime and in the fall, in the overnight hours, we would have the windows open to keep the cool air coming in. And in the morning, we'd close the windows shut, keep the cool air in. And we would draw our window blinds to keep the sun out. And we would have to turn on the air conditioning till like noon, until 1 in the afternoon, and then only run it for 4 or 5 hours. And then we could, open the windows again as the sun went down. We could open the windows because the equilibrium, and leave the windows open up the drapes and let the, cool air in, hot air out, fans are going. And you're constantly trying to moderate the temperature. The problem, of course, is that as the winter goes, it gets colder and colder and colder to the point where you don't open the windows anymore. You keep the windows closed now to let the sun radiate in. So you got your blinds open to let the sunshine in, trying not to turn the heater on. I mean, it's the opposite, so back and forth. Even in Palm Desert, we would play that game. But with Smart Rent, with everything being automated, that would measure. It would measure the sunrise, sunset. It would know it all built in, and it would adjust the opening and the closing of the drapes time to the sun cycle, but also to the weather. It'll be able to measure the weather, the heat outside versus heat inside, which windows to open at what part of the house, which windows to keep closed on one part of the house, because again, there's shade, there's windows in the shade, windows in the sun, on and on it goes. Winter, it's the reverse. Complicated, but it can be done, and once it's automated, it's set it, forget it. Pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Speaking of pipes and Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, their sewer system is above ground. Let's see. Interesting, isn't it?
Permafrost isn't so permanent.
Permafrost, yeah. A wife and I just bought a newly built house, all electric, and our bills are very reasonable for the size of our house. Going to invest in solar next. There you go. Let's see. I agree with many experts who say that if you can convert North America to solar, wind, get off the oil grid, the number of jobs you would create in the clean energy business would be incredible. And I heard an interview the other day with the energy secretary, something about this U.S. energy secretary talking about creating jobs. And the interviewer was saying, well, aren't you putting a whole bunch of miners out of work in Virginia and West Virginia? I mean, those miners are going to lose their jobs because you're not going to need coal to make electricity and so on. And her answer was very, very poignant. She says, we're trying to get those workers out of the mines, and we'll retrain them, and we'll have them install solar panels and install the wiring systems required and the battery system. These folks will become the entrepreneurs of tomorrow for power-free generation. Now, in theory, they won't live in West Virginia anymore, because you don't need to be in West Virginia to install solar systems across the country. You will move, but you will move to where the jobs are, and those will be the jobs. So we'll replace these jobs with these jobs, and these green jobs will be for the next 150 years or longer, which is longer than the mines have been operating. Like, we'll need this forever going forward. So we don't do 1700 and 1800s technology anymore. We now do the 21st and 22nd century technology, which just makes so much sense. But it's, the politician that gets elected from West Virginia coal miners is the politician that won't go for this, obviously, because he doesn't want to lose their voters. Doesn't want them to move away to where the jobs are. Politics, isn't it? Isn't that what it is? Anyway, what are you going to do? I think the market's going down because you've been neglecting them. They don't seem like you're talking about them, and you're talking about the stocks. The markets are going down. 357 on your Dow, still up. 1680 on SOFI. ATP up 9 cents. ME up 9. We're doing the best we can. Let's see what else is up here. Moonshine, still energy efficient and effective. Oh man. Thank you, everybody, so much. Long time. Kevin is saying, long time no talk, friends. Been busy as hell, but I'm still here. Nice to have you here today. People only make changes when their back is up against the wall, or it takes money out of their wallets. As we race, we as a race have a default setting. We argue, blame each other, and refuse to work together. I hear you. What can I say? I believe you also get tax credits for adding solar power to your home. The Germans should have an efficient way to change the electric grid out. They are excellent in efficiency. I tell you, the Germans, they've really taken it to another level. The Wind farms, amazing how many there are. Solar farms, incredible how many there are. Farmers who have land that is not good for crops. They put up that land with they put solar panels on that land. They also put wind farms up on that land very near it. They turn that dead land into producing energy, and they get guaranteed contracts from the power company. The farmer has no risk. The farmer is just putting up land that he's never going to use for anything to grow any kind of a crop on. It's just impossible. Side of a hill, what have you, and now utilizes this dead space to generate income from electricity created on it without any pollution or side effects whatsoever. The electric company does everything. They install all the wiring, the transformers, the systems, everything, and they pay this guy a check every month for the power generated. It's fantastic. The side of highways, 4-lane highway. You have in Germany, in many areas, the highway is depressed. It's like they've dug a bit of a trench to put the highway in. So if you're on a farmer's field and you look across the land, you can't see the highway. There's a highway between this farm and that farm, but it's down below, about 20 feet down. Well, on the side of the hill, the berm from the highway back up to the land, that is where they're installing solar panels, depending on the direction of the highway. So if the highway is going, east and west, they have the solar panels on the north side, taking the sun from here for miles and miles and miles and miles. That's land that no one is using. It's just on the side of the highway. The electric company hooks it all in. They're not utilizing land They're not taking land away from anyone else's use. They're utilizing land that is wasted, in effect, by putting in these panels. It's incredible. 24/7, 12 months a year, generating electricity. Germany is shutting down all their nuclear plants. They're going strictly on this type of product. It's incredible. It is just an amazing national program. I'm good, bud. How are you, says Drew. All the battery and solar panel manufacturing has its own environmental hazards to produce, dispose of. They definitely need to be high standards to recycle these products when they wear out. I agree with that. Getting up to 520 is not something I ever thought I would be willing to do again. John, I'm worried about this weekend here in Sacramento area. 111 Saturday, 113 Sunday, and drier than a popcorn fart. Unbelievable. Drew, anti-PC, love you. Nitin, Drew, all good, thanks. Just got home from work. Thank you to Matt Ames. Thank you, Matt. Apple broke through its 52-week high again today. 1680 on SOFI. 859 on ATIP, up a dime. ME up 8 cents. Fifth Wall up 3. Vector up 7. And then we got IBM up 20, and we have Apple at up $1.91 to 145.20, pushing the new high around big time. 2.4 trillion and climbing in value for this company. How about all that? Cruise lines up $2 on Royal, up 51 on Norwegian, 43 on Carnival. Short-lived gain there. Amazon up 11, Facebook up 3, Alphabet up 8. Banks are up, Walmart is up, Cisco is up, Goldman's up 9.80 a share today. Walt Disney up 3.30, Twitter up $1.40. We have some upward movement here. Netflix up $3. DraftKings up 28 cents. Moderna down 2.25. Had a big day yesterday, though. Big gain yesterday. Intel up 49 cents. Micron up $1.35. The Dow up 374 right now. We got S&P up 35. Nasdaq up 90. And that's what we have. The GameStop is coming on again. 190.77 is taking another shot here. Down only 62 cents a share. 190.77. The high of 191.50 is within 75 cents right now. That's all it will take to hit a new high of the day. Can we do it and go positive? Wouldn't that be lovely? Come on, GameStop. Take us to 200 today. Let's take a shot and let's get going. 16.87 up a quarter on SOFI. The high on SOFI today, 16.98. We're at 16.87, 11 cents away from the high of the day for SOFI. 4.1 million shares traded today on SOFI. ATIP 858, the high today 864, 109,000. That's all, no trading. Gore's now down only 8 cents. It was down to 14.46 for a little moment. It's now 14.81, down 8 cents on 122,000 shares. And 23andMe 10.66, up 3 cents, a low of 10.42 today. 306,000 shares. That's what we got going on right now. And there you have it. If we don't do what we need to do, we'll be swapping one environmental disaster for another. Can solar panel withstand hail? It hails here a lot. It actually can, depending on the covering you put on it. But you can put on some pretty serious protecting glass on there and non-shattering. Yes, can be done. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, here I haven't had any hail damage. It hails here very occasionally. The thing I'm waiting for now that I'm looking forward to, I wouldn't be surprised to see, is solar panels. They used to be 100-watt solar panels. Now you see these 250s and 300s. There will come a point in time where the solar panel will be thicker, but will now be like a 2,000-watt solar panel. Like the amount of electricity generated in such a small square footage will be massive. Where it used to take 40 panels to power a house, it'll take 5, it'll take 3. You'll have 40 anyway, and you're pushing to the grid all kinds of power. I see this as a future as well. I think I hear Yoko warming up in the back, says anti-PC. El Salvador will mine bitcoins using the power of volcanoes. Clean, renewable, geothermal. Look at Iceland. Electricity from volcanic activity. Absolutely. Bruce, you're killing the stocks, Thumbs up for Uncle B. In the South, what was that comment here? Hang on. Am I getting back to? In the South, we have a lot of old houses built in shotgun style, a direct line from front door to back door. They'd keep both doors open and air would flow through the central hall, cooling the house. I believe it. In the NTPC, we need those stocks to the moon. Been too long. We haven't seen the movies. We haven't seen big moves yet. We need the Yoko to disrupt our stocks and wake them up. John Van, laughing out loud, building homes. Has this man not seen the price of wood? Well, it is what it is. Anyone here in New York City? I hear the subways are flooded. They are in certain spots, I hear. Zach G. Oh, awesome. Yeah, doing it for fishing. I can't get behind as well. Let's see here. I bought 2 sheets last week for $50. It sucks. Prices are out of control. Let's see. Years ago, I saw featured news. A guy designed a heating system using his kitchen compost. Sounds like a great idea. Solves 2 problems. Let's see. No one ever thought of those poor carriage drivers when they invented automobiles. Let's go. The buggy whip, yeah. IBM is not making John Van happy right now. 1698 on SOFI. We're about to break out. 1698. That's the high of the day. We touched 17 now on 4.4 million on your SOFI. We're coming on SOFI. GameStop 190.08. We've broken the 190. Happy to see that. Good to see that. Here, Germany just closed a coal plant after just 6 years of operation to produce hydrogen from wind instead. Yep. Here to satisfy the electric company lobbies, they impose a tax and cost for having solar self-consumption systems. Talk about corruption and detract people from installing solar. New politicians will fix that problem. Let's see. It's 80 here. It says John Van. Let's go. We're at 1705 on SOFI. We just popped through 17 like a hot knife through butter. We're rolling 190.78 on GameStop, down 60 cents. Coming on SOFI 1705. Here we go. We're moving. Let's just keep right up here. 17 finally, says John. Woohoo. Yeah, we're all noticing it. You're all seeing it. You're all watching it. 1705 on SOFI. We're coming back. 191 on GameStop. We're trying to break it. Here. Let's see. I want to sell some of my AMD. I bought it back over 15 years ago. See, now the stocks are going back up. Let's go. That was easy. Bruce, since you quit playing Yoko, GME is down around $100 a share. Let your conscience be your guide. 190.99 on GameStop. SoFi 1707 up 45 cents a share. ATIP up 11 to 860. 23andMe up 4 cents. We're coming on, kids. We're coming on. That was easy. We need that. That was easy. We need that. That was easy.
That
button.
was easy.
That was easy.
That was easy.
It was easy. 1707 on SoFi on 4.6 million shares. We are moving higher and higher. Oh, yeah. That is good news. They say it started on a Friday. Oh, man. 17 took $17 back. SoFi took it back. Go, baby, go. Easy, easy. Neat, neat, neat. Don't do it, Uncle Bruce. Yoko will destroy the world worse than the first plague of Egypt. Go, SoFi, go. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. I bought a cheap put on SoFi yesterday. You're welcome, everyone. Another sacrifice made by Coyote. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you.
That was easy.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. 191.22 down 16 cents. On GameStop, we're going higher on GameStop, 191.22. We're about to turn the corner and go positive. We're so close, 16 cents away. 1706 on SoFi, up 43 cents a share. Come on, 23andMe, 1070, up 7. Let's go, GameStop. Pop it up there. Let's take a shot. Come on. You know you want to. You know you need to. You've got to do it. It's just got to happen. 385 is the gain on the Dow today, 385 points. 191.22 on GameStop. We're right at the edge, not 191.34, down 4 cents. GameStop, not 191.41. We are positive on GameStop. 191.41, we've gone green, and we're at 17.10 on SoFi. 17.10 now. We're coming on. These markets are turning it around. ATIP 860 and 23andMe at 1070, up 7 cents. Gore's only down 7 cents now. Vector up 8. Come on, guys. Let's make it happen. Oh, my gosh. I worked so hard. 140.99 on IBM, up a quarter. Come on, IBM. Rock and roll. 1711. SoFi up 49 cents. Kevin Lane, yep. And QuantumScape has huge backing from Bill Gates. Is what John is saying. Thumbs ups. Go to yesterday was the day to sell your put, not buy one. Keep going, SoFi, says Anti. 1709 on SoFi. 191.28 on GameStop as we are getting ready for, I hope, a shot. That would be nice to see a shot here. 861 up 12 on ATIP. Come on, guys. Come on. Mama needs a new car, says Anti-PC. Thank you, everybody, for the 600 thumbs ups. We just broke 600 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for that. We have 750 people watching here right now. I'm glad you're with me. Hope you're making some money today. Thank you all for popping in. And let's see if we can get these markets to go even higher, guys. Even higher. Oh, you guys deserve nothing but the best. 1710 now in SoFi, 191.03, 862 on ATIP, up 13. Yeah, baby. The Dow up 381, S&P up 35, NASDAQ up 94. There you go. Thank you for your sacrifice. You betcha, everybody. Let's hope so for more. 191.50 on GameStop, up 12. Can it take a higher shot? This looks to be the high of the day, or in the neighborhood of the high of the day. Yep, 191.50, 53 is the high. That's where we are on GameStop. SoFi 1713 up 51. 1713. I think that's the high of the day. Yep, approaching 1718. That's the high of the day right now. 5 million shares volume on SoFi, getting better and getting stronger. 191.50 on GameStop. My God, is that green? I can't believe it. 2 phones equals 2 thumbs. Anti-PC, will that be the new used car? Dat boy, easy.
That was easy.
Yes, Mike Sullivan, that's going to be the new used car. ME 1069. Come on, ME. Keep coming. Uncle Bruce, are the classes going to have audio for the students or chat only? Chat only, just like this. No audio. So you won't have to worry about making noises. You're not on camera. You're just going to be doing this. What's that?
Not chaos.
Not chaos. That's right. It's not chaos. That's exactly it. We're unchaos. 717, 1718, 1717, 1718 on SoFi. Coming on. Nice to see this happening. It oversold and now coming on 190.78 on GameStop. We're waiting for a shot there. 862 on ATIP up 13 cents. 1071 on 23andMe up 8 cents. 1480 on Gores down only 9. With my GameStop earnings, I will move to El Salvador and start a bamboo farm. Literally comes out of the ground. Zach, SOFI with a stack of green candles for the birthdays. Nice. 191 now on GameStop. 1715. SOFI up 53 cents. 5.1 million shares. Go, SOFI, go is what I have to say about all that. 1717 on SOFI. Thank you. Moving higher. This sure beats yesterday's low, doesn't it? Doesn't it just? I think it was, 1610 for the low, something like that. Yes, we'll see what it wants to give us here. Time for a run on the SOFI. It should be at 28.30 anyway, so why don't you just put it there? Let's just go there where it belongs. How about that? 1717 on the stock. 190.56, 190.69 on GameStop. There you are. We're just, watching this market. We're going to be on again at 3 o'clock this afternoon for the last hour of the day and the first hour of the aftermarket. I invite you to join me this afternoon. Also tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, live trivia on this channel for members. If you're a member of this channel, you'll be here about 7 o'clock Eastern, if you like, for live trivia tonight. Also on Traveling with Bruce, members over there will be able to join us as well. Looking forward to having you over. We got a whole bunch of questions on therapy, on trivia. I got them all lined up, ready to roll. We'll have some fun with that. Let's see what's going on. Moving on up. This is why I quit using public restrooms. Woohoo, Zach. And now VACQ is going up. Is that true? It's up 16 cents to 10.29. Yeah, fifth wall up 3. 23andMe up 8. ATIP up 9. SOFI 17.16 up 54. How about that? Yeah, Bruce, call them and tell them the price they need to be. That would help a lot. Thanks in advance. We will be on the air 7 o'clock tonight Eastern for trivia tonight. By all means, come on by. And I'll be on the air here at 3 o'clock this afternoon as well. Tomorrow afternoon at noon Eastern, tomorrow morning, 9 in the morning out west, I will be on the air with my first class, the introduction into stock options, buying and selling call and put options. Oh boy. And then Sunday, the second class, introduction into how to write call and put options. Have we got work to do? 1718 on SOFI. I think some of you option holders for SOFI are a little happier now. Are you less stressed now than you were maybe yesterday morning? We're definitely improving here on SOFI. Finally, nice to see that. Well oversold. It's got a whole long way to go from here. And hopefully it will. Would be nice. We're almost to hitting 400 again on the Dow. 399.29 for the gain. 38.39 gain on S&P. 100-point gain on NASDAQ. The Dow is up 1.1% right now. All righty. It's a hell of a day to stop sniffing glue here. I just made an appointment at my local ATI physical therapy location. I'm making money. Shh, don't tell my boss. I'm listening to Uncle Bruce. Yay, trivia. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're seeing the light moving up on a deluxe apartment in the sky. A little less stressful for sure, Uncle B. You betcha. A little happier, but could be a lot happier. No stress on SOFI. That's why I have January calls. That's right. 1718 up 56 cents on SOFI. GameStop 190.53. ATP 856. AMC down to $1.41. Gores down 11 cents. And 23andMe up 3. We got a gain of 3 on fifth wall, a gain of 17 on vectors, unchanged on Starboard and Navsite right now. IBM is now up 17 cents to 140.91. Not setting the house on fire at the moment. Up 3.99, up 401 on the Dow. We just climbed over 400 again. Fantastic. Have a fabulous afternoon, peeps. See you all later. Thank you, Bruce and Jen. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. Auntie, thanks, Michael. Cool Hand Lee. You can hear the I told you not to worry in Uncle Bruce's voice. I told you. I told you. When everyone's selling, you buy. It's as simple. When they sell, you buy. Oh, yes. Love it. Love this. Go, markets, go. Won't be unstressed until SOFI hits 30. Needs to be there right now. That didn't take care, Ashley. SOFI B. SOFLA, says Blair. Drew, take care all. Andy PC saying bye, Ashley Parcells. There you go, kids. I'm getting ready to sign off on this show. I'll be back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the afternoon session. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for all your support of this channel. Thanks for the thumbs ups. Last look, we had 600 thumbs ups. How many we got now? We have 627 thumbs ups on this show. If you can spare a thumbs up for us, thank you very much. Hit that button right now. Nail that thing. Free to give away. 1718 on SOFI. Climbing higher. Hit the thumbs up now. 629. There they are. They're coming in again. 638. There they go. Thank you so much for these thumbs ups, you guys. Let's get them going. Everyone out there, let's hope for the best. Keep this market running. See what the momentum will do today as we're going higher. 1719 on SOFI. Pushing higher, 1725, the high of the day right now on your SOFI, 1725. Last trade on SOFI. It is popping. It is definitely popping right now. That is a very good sign. Very, very oversold. 1730, another nickel just like that, like butter. 1730 on the SOFI, up 68 cents now. Nice to see this coming along here. A very good move. The more, the merrier. Up 31 cents on the IBM, 141.05. 1730 on SOFI. Very, very good move here. 405 point gain on the Dow, 39 on S&P, 106 on NASDAQ. So the big markets are helping with momentum as well. We have 653 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. Keep them coming in. Do appreciate it. This is good. It's something happening with SOFI. Something good is happening on SOFI. I think people are figuring out that there isn't a lot of stock for sale here. It can take shots. So 1725 now, but it can take shots now and go substantially higher. Let's hope that's the deal, and it'll continue to do so. We'll follow it this afternoon from 3 until 5 o'clock Eastern. Join me then. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. We'll catch you this afternoon at 3 o'clock, and let's see how high this market wants to go. We're more than happy to let it go much higher. January 22, 30 calls, 202. Blair, oh yay, it's party time tonight. Yee-hoo-hoo. Let's go SOFI. Let's go GameStop, ATIP, Gores, 23andMe, and everybody else. The neat emojis. Happy birthday to everybody, the birthday family. Later, guys. Have a great day, everybody. Deuces, Bruces. You betcha. Thank you, everybody, for seeing me this morning. I'll catch you at 3 o'clock today. And we'll play some more. Okay, bye for now.